everybody, and welcome back to That's Football. We are joined with Ricky for a watch-along for Manchester City versus Wydad Athletic Club in the Club World Cup. Ricky, have you been keeping up with the Club World Cup so far? What do you make of it? How are you feeling about the tournament?
I've watched most games, and I know it's getting a lot of stick from a lot of quarters, but I'm quite enjoying it. I think one of the main reasons I'm enjoying it is I'm an absolute football addict, and it fills the summer in for me while I'm waiting for United to restart. I know that's football, but most people watching will understand that we're both United supporters. So I can't wait for that to restart. But watching the Club World Cup for me, yeah, it's been great. There's been a couple of cracking games. I watched that game the other night. There was no prisoners taken in the Boca Juniors game against Benfica. 2 red cards. A 2-2 draw. It was a cracking game. But I've watched a game, I can't remember which one it was now. It was a 0-0 draw, and I thought it was a great game. So there's been some good games. I have a feeling this could be a good game. I don't think these will be a complete walkover. I asked you before, I didn't know, but they've qualified by being the champions of Africa, not just the champions of Morocco, which is the country that they're from. Obviously, they're the champions of Africa about 2 years ago, which qualified them for this tournament. And I think the champions of Africa, if you think about the proper World Cup, if you get teams like Ghana and the Ivory Coast, Morocco themselves, they give the big boys a run for the money in the World Cup. So
Senegal have done it before as well.
Senegal as well. So I don't see why a club from one of those nations can't equally give one of our clubs a decent run for the money. And obviously City have got a few new players playing. Whether they'll gel together immediately, knowing Pep, he probably will. But whether they'll gel well together straight away, you never know. It might be a more even game than people are thinking.
Absolutely, and I'm in agreement with you. And I was doing a little bit of research for this game because, forgive me if I'm not an avid watcher of Wydad Casablanca. I wish I had more time to watch every single league in every single bit of the world, but I was doing some research around this team, and as they were prepping for the Club World Cup, and don't forget, as much as some people are writing the Club World Cup off and maybe aren't taking it as seriously as some of the other big competitions, clubs like Wydad will be taking this very, very seriously and wanting to go as far as possible, and they were preparing for this. And a 1-0 loss to Porto, a 1-0 loss to Sevilla. So it's very narrow margins there. Yeah, defensively, I expect them to be quite solid. They are lining up with the back five today against City. And you know what? If you make it difficult for City, if you make it hard to be broken down by City, it could be one of them games where it is edgy. And you never know, if they nick a goal, it could make things interesting. It
could be very interesting. It picks up on your point there about would teams take it seriously. I noticed Bayern Munich played a full strength team against who did they play from New Zealand? Auckland City, and I know they beat them 10-0, but they didn't take any chances. They played with PSG, played a full strength team against Atletico.
There's 100 million on the line, Ricky, if you win this tournament.
Exactly. So they go. I mean, quite a few people said to me, they're not going to take that seriously. It's going to be like friendlies. No way in the world. I've just mentioned that Boca Juniors game I watched the other night. Like I say, there was no prisoners taken in that game. I wouldn't have fancied playing in it, some of the tackles that were flying in. So it's a serious tournament. And I think, obviously, I won't be here, but 40 years down the line, people will forget that it was a new tournament one day. Do you know what I mean? And it'll just be taken seriously every year, and people will look forward to watching it. This is the first. It's not the first ever World Club Championship, but usually there's 5, 6, 7 teams in it. There's 32 teams in this, isn't there? It's the first time it's been like this.
Do you think it will go on to be one of the major tournaments?
I think it will one day, yeah. Like I say, as time goes by, it'll just be a normal thing on the calendar and like you just said, there's $125 million on the table for the winners, and I'm sure there's a lot of money for the runners-up, and it'll go down and down. Semi-finalists, even the teams in the groups will be getting a certain amount of money. It's being taken seriously because of the money at the moment, but I think that will expand into the clubs. They'll have it in mind that they want to be the champions of the world. It's even though to get to the World Club Championship in the past, you've had to win the European Cup or the African Cup, the South American Championship. That's what you've had to do to get there. There was regularly 6 teams in it, wasn't it? The European champions and the South American champions got a bye to the semi-final. and then the teams in the semi-final came through from whoever the African winners were, the Asian winners. They played off it basically for 2 quarter-finals to get you 2 semi-finalists. So the champions of Europe and the champions of South America were in the semi-final as soon as they started. So that's not a cup competition to me. It's neither here nor there. It was nice to win it, of course. United won it once. I think City have won it once. Great, that's great, but it's not a serious competition. This is a more serious competition with 32 teams in it. And I've heard one or two of my pals ridiculing the fact that there's a team in it that got beat 10-0 and they're supposed to be all the best teams in the world. Well, that's how international football works. It has to be all inclusive. You have to have a team from Asia. You have to have a team from Oceania. And if that's what they like. If you look at the team from Oceania when it comes to the World Cup, usually you've got either Australia, occasionally New Zealand are in it. It's not often they take a pasting. I know that's international football, but Auckland are in it as the champions of Australia. I know they're from New Zealand. I did my own work on that. There's 3 New Zealand teams in the Australian A-League. And those 3 teams, Auckland are one of those 3 teams, and they've won the Australian League. How on earth they've done that, by the way? I've read about their income and one thing and another. It's mind-boggling. I just can't get my head around it. But they've won the Australian League. That's got them to this tournament. You've got to have it's a World Cup, so it's got to be all-inclusive. And like I say, at the international tournaments, Australia do all right. I've got a feeling they drew with Argentina at a recent World Cup. Australia.
I think they did. I think we might have even done the Watchalong for it.
Right. So, so I think in years to come there'll be the odd surprise where an Australian team draws with a European team or whatever.
I think that was the year Argentina won the World Cup as well.
That was the last one, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure. Well, that's what I was speaking about before as well. When you look at Auckland and you look at everybody is taking that first game and to kind of try and make a mockery of the Club World Cup. But like you said, and I know it's the best teams of each country, but even if you look at the European side of things, when you do the Champions League, you still have, no disrespect, but you have like the Club Bruges, who everyone's like, that's maybe an easy game. We've got a decent group there, and I know you get ranked in your groups, but you still have the easier sides. And it is something that I'm going to be honest, I've not been as interested to watch it because United aren't in it.
Of course,
and, if United were in it, I'd be absolutely,
you'd be all over it.
I'd be glued to it.
Yeah.
I've watched
bits. You'd be there.
Yeah, I would be there. I've watched bits here and there, and do you know what I am excited for? And this is where I'm at as a fan right now. I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm absolutely buzzing to see who wins the Club World Cup, because my team isn't in it, so I'm not as bothered. Yeah. But I am intrigued to see how seriously the teams take this competition, what effect this will have on the likes of Manchester City, who are playing tonight in the title race. Is it going to cause burnout? How seriously are they going to take it?
That's a fascinating point.
And as we're going to be competing with the likes of Manchester City, Chelsea next year. We get to see their signs playing for their teams already. I know you get it in pre-season, but it's not as serious. And this is 100 million on the line, and they are going to take it seriously. And we are about to kick off, and we'll read the team news out in a second as well, because Manchester City are playing some of their new signings, and I want to see what Cherki's going to be about. I want to see, Reinders, how he's going to partner Rodri. I want to see that as someone who's an avid watcher of the Premier League as well. Kick-off, it is just kicked off. If you are wanting to watch this game with us, get your comments in, by the way. Get your super chats in, because this is a new competition that we really want to see how these teams fare. Teams that we don't usually get to see, and if they can hold their own. Auckland couldn't, but can this team, can Wydad Athletic Club hold their own against Manchester City, who are widely regarded as one of the best teams in the world? Yeah,
well, we're only in the first minute, and I'll stick my neck out straight away and say these will be miles better than that Auckland. I'll be staggered if City win it. They'll probably win it, City, I imagine, but I don't expect to see them scoring 4, 5, 6, something like that. You mentioned how seriously will they be taking it, all these teams, and will they definitely take it seriously? I think come quarter-final time, you'll get your answer. I think in the quarter-final, I think you'll see Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Manchester City, probably Chelsea. There'll be a couple of South American teams that you can't take lightly. So I think once we get down to that last 8, then it will become interesting, and you'll see eight top-level teams competing for the, obviously to get to the semis and the final. and I will look forward to that when it comes to the knockout stages.
Do you know Amrabat's brother is playing as well?
Yes, yeah, I spotted that. I spotted his name in the lineup. Yeah.
We have a super chat in from Nay AU saying, who should we be looking out for in Casablanca? Well, I have got the lineups here and I want to go through them. Please bear with me with the pronunciation of some of these names. By the way, City are already in. Was it Doc who's put it in there?
Is the chance? No, it's gone behind him. It's gone behind him.
I can't quite see all the players here because of... Oh, it could already be a goal.
It's
and
a goal already.
Is a goal already. Just when you were saying
it might
that,
end up 6-0.
they'd be able to hold their own. It is Phil Foden with a goal within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah. That's a blow. That's a blow.
That's a massive blow. I was saying,
I'm hoping for it to be really. They will still be
out.
like that. You know, they will have gone through this. They'll have gone over it and over it and over it. They'll have been told if you go a goal behind, no matter how quickly or no matter at what stage, don't start thinking that you've got to start chasing the game. You've still got to sit back. You've still got to keep it tight. The last thing you want to do is to go 2 behind. And now I've said that, it'll probably be 2 in another 3 minutes.
Is that game over in the first minute, by the way?
That's not necessarily game over, but if they get another one, it probably is.
It is. I'm just checking who gets this assist here. I can't quite see the player. We need an upgrade to HD, by the way.
Yeah.
Someone up the budget for HD so I can properly see. I've got my glasses on and everything. I can't quite see who gets the assist there. Is it Savinho?
I think it is Savinho. It's not really an assist, is it? The keeper palms it out. He won't actually get an assist.
It's a good finish from Foden,
yeah, it's a good finish,
but he's got all the space in the world, hasn't he?
It's a good finish.
It will be interesting to see how Pep lines up in this tournament because there's some rumours that he might be changing his system a little bit, changing his style of play. It made some really intriguing signings that I think a lot of people can see are good signings, and we'll have to see how they play, but that will be interesting as well. But in terms of Manchester City's starting lineup, they've already scored a goal, but you've got Ederson in goal, you have Rico Lewis, you have Vita Rice, you have Ake, you have O'Reilly, you have Reinders, you have Foden, you have Cherki, you have Docky, you have Savinho, and you have Marmoush. Erling Haaland is on the bench in this game. Marmoush starts up front. But new signings, Reinders and Cherki, both in the team, and Aït-Nouri is on the bench, so we might see him feature later on. In terms of Wydad team, the starting 11, I mean, not many people are going to know a lot of these players, but key names that you can take out of that is Amrabat, who is Sofiane Amrabat, who played for Manchester United, his brother. Obviously very well known when it comes to African football. And key players that you can look out for, you have in their starting lineup, you have Boutouil, who is a brilliant centre-back, I have heard. Not that brilliant because he's already let a goal in. And you have as well Cassius Maulila, who is their lead in assists for Wydad Athletic Club. So he's someone to watch out for as well. Very good creator and playing in their forward line.
Let's see how they can do then.
Yep. Let's see if they can get a goal. Predictions, Ricky. Do you think Wydad will score a goal in this game?
I will stick my neck out and say yes, they will score 1 goal.
You think they'll score 1 goal?
I think they'll score 1 goal, yeah.
Any score predictions?
Now that City have scored early, I'll go it's going to finish 4-1 to City now they've scored so early.
4-1 to City. Okay, I'm going to go. I'll go. Should I try and back? Should I try and back him? I don't know if they're going to score a goal. I'm going to go 3-0 to City.
Okay.
I'll go 3-0 to City. I just don't know if I can see him scoring with City scoring so early
to score,
doors.
But teams, sometimes teams surprise you and get a goal. They're playing some nice football here. They're knocking it about well. He's offside. You can't play him through.
Maybe it was just a little bit of nerves in their opening 2 minutes. Make sure you all get your comments in as well down below. A little bit of defending for Manchester City to do there at the back. They are linking up pretty decently, haven't they? Taking a little punt.
Playing some good stuff. Just on the edge of the box. Ooh. Little ball out to the left wing here, just outside the box.
Let's see if he can get it in. Comes back out. They are working the ball pretty well here, actually. Yeah. This is the type of football you like to see, isn't it, Ricky?
Yeah, they look proper decent, yeah. If Bruno was playing for him, it'd be in the box already.
Someone did just try and shoot from outside the box, by the way. If anyone has missed it as well, in case you missed it and you're just tuning in now, I can see the viewers growing, so thank you very much for joining us. And you are wondering how Wydad did qualify for this competition. They qualified by winning the CAF Champions League, so the Confederation of African Football Champions League in 2022. They won it 5 years after their previous title, and that's how they qualified. I'm just rewatching this goal back here. It wasn't great from the keeper.
No, he's palmed it right into the danger area, yeah.
Bit of an anana spill there.
Didn't look like it was too difficult to deal with, really.
Bit of an anana spill.
Yeah, it wasn't a banana spill. I went out myself to do a little bit of homework this morning. I went out to try and buy a magazine. I thought the 442 or World Soccer might have had something about the World Club Championship in it, but I couldn't find one. But I did spot something that I thought you might like. So I bought you a present, darling.
You brought me a present?
I bought you a present, yeah. The 100 greatest Premier League players. I thought Bruno's bound to be in that, so I thought you'll love that. So I'm sure he will be in it, so I've bought it.
Have you looked through it?
No, I haven't looked
already?
Through it. No. It starts from the back probably, so he might be in the first 10. You never know, do you? So I thought you might like that. I just thought Bruno would be in it.
Do you know what? You know what? When we eventually win the league with Bruno holding up the trophy, I'll get a sticker of him and put it in here. Who have they put as the number one, actually? Put Shearer above Ronaldo. The travesty. Let me have a look. Who's they got as number one? Oh, they've got Bruno here at number one, Ricky.
Oh, do really?
I'm joking. Have you checked who's number one?
No, I haven't. No.
I'll see if the viewers agree with this, actually. Who do you think... I don't know if you can see, actually. Get in the comments. Who do you think is voted number one greatest Premier League player of all time? And we'll see what the votes are in the comments with that one. Do you know what? I'll look forward to reading this.
Nice one, love.
Full page spread on Bruno.
Yeah.
Is Scott McTominay in there, I'm assuming?
Probably. I don't know.
I'm assuming he is. Ashley Young? Does he make it in? Danny Welbeck? I'm expecting to see all them in there as well.
No, I just bought it because I thought Bruno would be in it, so I thought you might like it because of that.
Oh, honestly, Rick, don't. Have you seen City's signings, Ricky? What do you think of their transfer business so far?
Obviously, I've seen plenty of Ain't Nori before. He looks a good player. We were supposed to be chasing him as well at one point, weren't we? Obviously, Chirk is well known. I've not watched him closely. He's well known, and obviously Reinders, another dead well known player. Again, I've not watched enough of him. Better. I always say that when we sign players for United, don't we? If we'd have signed Reinders, I'd have been over the moon at signing him. But then I would still say, let me watch him play half a dozen games for us before I give me proper opinion. But it looks like good business on the face of it.
It's interesting how much money they've been able to spend, isn't it?
Well, I don't know how that works. That's political, isn't it?
Is that you being political?
Yeah, let's wait and see what happens. I don't know how it works.
I mean, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying they've obviously, spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
I understand, they've sold well. They're very good at selling the academy graduates, and I don't think they spent a lot last summer. But since Pep was in trouble, wow, they've been breaking the bank a little bit.
I'm not suggesting, well, I am suggesting something. I'll be interested to know who they sell their players to when they get fortunes from and where the clubs get their money from who buy City's players.
You tell them, Ricky.
Buy City's players.
You tell them. But you know what? Since the opening goal from Phil Foden, Wydad have settled into the game really well.
Yeah,
they're on the attack here.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a great chance.
He really should have scored that. He
just
really
couldn't quite get on the end of it.
Do you know what? They might actually score a goal, Eric. He's claiming for handball. Who is that pacey left winger on the left-hand side? I'm trying to see his number there. Let me have a look here. Trying to find it. Who have they got here? Might be the player that I was talking about before. Struggling to see a little bit here, Ricky. People are wondering who's number one on the list.
I can't read the numbers.
We have Sully Griffin saying thoughts on Liverpool's transfer window so far. We'll definitely come back to that in a second. Few votes in who they think's number one greatest Premier League players of all time. Shout out to Yogi Bear, who said Mark Goldbridge. I think he just missed out narrowly. We've got Anthony. There's a shout on there. Do you know what? I think that's a really good shout. But no, in a serious note, I think the majority of the chat right now is between Henri and Shearer. That's who they're going with.
Wow.
If you had to pick your number one Premier League player of all time before I reveal, who would you go for?
I'd find it difficult to go further. And look, I'd love to pick a United player like Keano, for example. He drags the team up by the bootlaces. But I think it's hard to see further than Alan Shearer, if I'm honest.
Well, they have voted it as. Let me get it up here. I want to reveal it to the chat. Thierry Henry is who they've gone with, the best Premier League player of all time.
He was an absolutely fantastic player. There's no two ways about it.
He was obviously fantastic. I don't know if I'd have him as my number one, but he's absolutely up there. Look, I think Wayne Rooney's got to be up there as well. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's just me of my younger generation, but I thought he was just absolutely unbelievable. Corners going in from Phil Foden, defended well there from Wydad. It's been quite an even game so far. City haven't had any clear-cut chances since the opening goal, 12 minutes in.
They've had the best chance since that first goal, haven't they?
Lawrence Berry says, it should be between Hazard and De Bruyne. Football has come on so much. Let me just look.
It's offside, I think, there. It's the Moroccan team on the attack again. It looked like a dangerous attack, but the lad strayed offside.
I'm trying to see the formation here because I'm not able to access it. So let me see if I can get that up.
I've got a little quiz question here for the audience. Beth, should I read it out?
You go for it.
I'll read this quiz question out. I've named an all-time Premier League 11. And I'll read it out and then I'll explain it. So I've got Mark Schwarzer in goal. And then I've got two wing-backs. I've gone in Amorim's system. I've got Clichy and Ashley Cole as the two wing-backs. I know they're both left-sided, but sometimes you need to fit players in.
Okay.
When you've got certain players to pick from. I'll explain at the end. So I've got Clichy and Cole as my two wing-backs. I've then got three centre-backs of Robert Huth, Henning Berg and Kolo Touré. I've got two holding midfield players as James Milner and N'Golo Kante. And as my two number 10s, I've got Riyad Mahrez and Tevez. And up front, I've got Nicolas Anelka. Now then, the question is, I'll read the team out again quickly, very shortly. The question is...
Tried to dink the keeper, sorry.
The question is, why have I gone for that 11? There's a reason why I've picked those 11 players.
Okay, pick it again.
So it's Schwarzer in goal, Clichy and Cole as the two wing-backs, Henning Berg, Robert Huth and Kolo Touré as three centre-backs, James Milner and N'Golo Kante in midfield, Riyad Mahrez and Carlos Tevez as two number 10s, and Nicolas Anelka at number 9. So there's a reason for me picking those 11 players. So I'll give it till half-time, see if anybody can get the answers to that, and I'll read the team out again next time there's a break. But City have got a corner.
I've got a slight idea.
Well, you can have a guess like anyone else.
I'll have a guess when everyone else gets their comments.
Okay, give them 5 minutes, see if there's any comments.
I'll let everyone else.
In fact, read a few out, let's see if anyone gets it.
I will. I think everyone's having a little think now.
Right, okay.
Corners coming in now. Ooh, that's a big battle there. Ooh. Tried for the overhead kick then. I think it was it Marmouche who went for the overhead
kick? That's a foul. It's a fairly dangerous area to give a free kick away.
Yellow card as well.
Yeah, more of a crossing. It's for City, this obviously. More of a crossing position rather than a shooting position. But it's dangerous. 16 minutes gone though, and apart from the goal, I think they've held their own quite well.
Yellow card for the centre forward I was talking about there. Yellow card for Cassius Maolila. Leading assist maker for Wydad. We've got some comments in, Ricky.
Yep.
So we've got all Premier League winners.
Right.
We've got all played for Man City.
Right.
All won the Premier League with 2 teams.
That's the answer. Who's put that in? Did you get that?
I got it.
Did you get
I
that?
honestly, genuinely, that
They got
genuinely
it
was
very
my answer.
quickly.
I thought that was too easy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Ricky, you're making them too easy for us.
Okay, I've got another one for half time.
You got Milner with Liverpool and City.
Correct, yeah.
Mahrez with Leicester.
The reason I've picked a team like that and they've all won it twice, I just thought it was intriguing. There are only 10 outfield players that have actually won the Premier League with 2 different clubs. There's only 10. There's no others. So that's why I fitted it into that team. That's why Gail Clichy's having to play at right full back instead of left full back. So there's only 10 players that have won the Premier League with 2 different clubs, and those are the 10 outfield players: Clichy, Berg, Huth, Toure, Cole, Milner, Kante, Mahrez, Tevez, and Anelka.
What a play
Mark
Kante was,
Schwarzer in goal, by the way. Got in goal. He was in the squad with Leicester and Chelsea when they won the leagues, or when they won a league, but didn't play enough games to get a medal. But that's how he sneaks in, because you've got to have a keeper from somewhere, obviously.
That's really interesting. That
The only 10 players, yeah.
I can't believe it's only 10. Yeah. But you know what? You've got to look at them 10 players and kind of give them a little bit of credit for that, because to do it with 2 different teams, it's hard going. Obviously, sometimes you find yourself in the right place at the right time. But
exactly, but to win the Premier League once, if you're a regular player in the team, is a great achievement. To do it with 2 different clubs.
Oh, that was a risky throw out from the keeper there. Holding their own a little bit, though. You were right, Ricky, in fact, as he says that, he gives the ball away. But you were right in the sense of, even though they conceded so early doors, they were going to stick to the game plan of keeping it tight and trying to defend as much as possible. But they're still taking the chances when they have had possession of the ball there. Doku with that should never reach Savinho over to the other side. It looks like Savinho's looking to try and cut in and shoot. Finds his way out, and I think it goes out for a corner off Rico Lewis there. Plays it against the defender. A lot of corners and set pieces are being conceded here.
Yeah, they're under pressure now. They've been under pressure for 5 minutes, having done well after the first goal. But they're under pressure at the minute.
We need more Ricky trivia.
Yeah. I'll read another one out at half time, eh?
You got them up your sleeve?
See if it takes them a bit longer to get the next one.
I hope so.
You didn't read out who got the right answer, or have you lost it now? Should I give him a shout out who got the right?
Did.
Oh, did you? Right, okay.
I did, I told him. I read it out for the chat to hear. Helge says most underrated XI. I don't know if you've seen that. That is the most underrated XI. That's a great header that nearly went in by Nathan Ake. Tell you what, we should make an 11 of players that have played for bottom half teams that have gone on to play for the top sides and win major competitions, because I feel like, as a United fan, and I don't know if other fans of different teams will feel this as well, because obviously everybody's welcome here on That's Football, sometimes the fan base will turn their nose up if you're linked to a player from the likes of Ipswich, for example. Delap, a lot of people turn their nose up, but you can get some great plays from them lower half teams, and Ake is another example of that when he was at Bournemouth, in my opinion. Let's see here, if they could get a goal, it would be really sort of interesting, wouldn't it, to see how the game shapes up?
Yeah. Dangerous attack here by City, I think.
They are all over him. They only have a little bit of breathing space before City gets back on them. Interestingly enough, the coach for Wydad was only just put in charge in May, Benisham.
Yeah.
So, you're only just managing a team. Next thing you know, you're playing against Manchester City in the Club World Cup. Yeah. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big opportunity. He took over in May after they had a dip in form, trying to revive the previous years of being able to compete up there for the CAF.
How far's out? Oh, it's only halfway line. Yeah. I just realised that they got a free kick, but it's in their own half. But still, they're on the ball. City are sat back. Let's see if they can keep it for a bit now. They've done it once or twice.
Decent bowling, to be fair. And
Did well there.
They've won throwing high up the pitch as well.
Yeah. That's a good ball as well. Well
played,
lad.
On that left. Oh, God. So close in the box there.
Great chance.
Lorch on the left-hand side
Absolutely great football.
is
unlucky.
causing them problems. He's tearing up that left wing. It's a really good ball in,
Lobs it
actually.
over one player and then over another.
That was Amadesk. Just a final pass was a little bit off.
Hit it.
I know.
Should have just hit it.
It was a little bit off, a little bit.
There's a man in front of him, but you're that close to goal. It's got to be worth a shy at the goal there.
They've had a couple of opportunities where they could cause City some real problems and have kind of looked a little bit dangerous. But it's just that finishing touch. It's that quality, isn't it? Yeah. Defended pretty well there, to be fair.
Don't know if you've said this yet. Where's it at, this game?
It's in Philadelphia.
Is it Philadelphia?
It is in Philadelphia. Ricky, surely you have a Philadelphia story for us.
Yeah, but I can't really tell it live on air.
You can. You can.
Actually, I will tell one story. I'll tell one story. I went to Philadelphia with a few lads.
Sorry, 1 second.
Go on.
They are in here. Tell you what, they cross it better than we do.
Yeah,
into the box.
They look like a better team than us. Well, they do.
They actually do, to be fair. To be honestly, on a serious level, if this was a Premier League game, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, really. I don't think.
No, you wouldn't. Not so far.
Because City are super dominant.
Yeah, City.
And they are.
But City dominate plenty of Premier League games, don't they?
Exactly.
If you didn't know who these two teams were and you took the writing off the screen that tells you so, you wouldn't know who they were playing against, and you won't be surprised if you found out it was a mid-table Premier League team they were playing against. Obviously that could change. I was about to say they might still end up scoring 5 or 6. Sometimes teams collapse, but then again, that still happens in the Premier League occasionally as well. You know what I mean? So how can you tell if it's a Premier League game or not? Yeah, Philadelphia story. I went to Philadelphia years ago when United played there on a pre-season tour, about 6 of us, and there was a massive, big multi-storey hotel. Within spitting distance really of the ground. We hadn't booked anywhere, and we just spotted it when we drove in. We drove into Philadelphia, and we said, "Oh, brilliant! That we can check into there with a bit of luck and walk to the stadium." So we checked in, and it looked lovely on the ground floor. And they give us the keys. I think there was 6 of us, so 3 twin rooms. They didn't have 3 on the same floor, so we've gone up to our respective floors, and then the lads started ringing, "What's your room like? What's your room like?" And it was absolutely minging. We paid like $150 each for a room for the night, and on one of the floor there was broken doors, broken locks. You could tell that people had been robbed up there and all that. And we were like, "Are we sure we're going to stay here?" And then on one of the doors there was like a note on the double. It was a note on the door that somebody had written about "Welcome to my lair. If you'd like to come in, just proceed," and things like that.
You are joking.
I swear. So there was a few quick phone calls. We met back downstairs in reception, and luckily the guy was okay with it and give us all our money back, and off we went. So that's a Philadelphia story.
You should have gone in. Should have gone and seen what was behind the door, Ricky. Guesses in the chat what was behind the door. City back with the ball now. There was just a little drinks break there. Every time there's a drinks break, we get a Ricky story. I've not been to Philadelphia. I would like to though, but now you've told me that story. You have to.
Don't go in the multi-storey hotel next to the ground.
You'll have to tell me that hotel. I'll have to book it. I'm intrigued.
I bet it's been demolished now.
Has it?
I don't know.
What did happen over there?
I don't know.
What did happen?
No, it was horrendous. Honestly, it was horrendous.
Oh, good ball through and good defensive.
Obviously, blokes being blokes, 1 or 2 were saying, "No, it'll be all right," and some of us were going, "No chance, we're not staying in it."
Oh gosh.
So it's another corner for City.
Yeah, another corner for Manchester City. How many corners is that now for them? It's got to be a lot.
Lost count.
Tell you what, I've not noticed Cherky for them.
Can't say I have either, but not really concentrating on looking for him, to be honest.
Well, I'm gonna definitely keep my eye out for the next little bit of time, because Cherky's coming with a lot of eyes on him. A lot of people think he's going to absolutely tear up the Premier League, and highly rated football player. Obviously, I know it's his first proper game for Man City, but he's someone that I want to watch to see how he plays for them, see if he fits in this system. It was funny actually with Cherky because he said when he signed for Man City, he said a few comments, and everyone's seen the United comment that he said he wants to kill United. Second language, doing an interview, I kind of can understand it. Trying to impress the fans and whatever. Yeah. But he said that he wants to bring back the magic of football, the unpredictability of not knowing what's coming next. He thinks it's become too robotic, I would say is the word. And I could see all the comments saying, you do realise what manager you've signed for.
Yeah.
Usually the players that have that little bit of magic, for example, the Jack Grealish, they can get it coached out of them when they come to Manchester City, which you wouldn't want to see, but we'll see how he gets on. Harry Sanders says, Pep has already ruined him.
Oh.
Don't be horrible. Not quite yet. You've got to give him some time to warm up first.
It really is a time of transition for City when you think that De Bruyne has left.
Manouche just taken a shot
just
from
had a shot
right
from
out
distance, yeah.
Distance. Yeah, transition time for sure.
Yeah, De Bruyne has gone. Obviously, it looks like Grealish is going. I know he didn't play a hell of a lot last year, Grealish, but he played most of the time when they only won the treble 2 years ago, is it now? Or is it 3 years ago now? But he played a lot. He played in both the cup finals. Obviously, De Bruyne has been a fantastic player for them. Just in this particular game, I don't think Bernardo Silva's in the lineup, is he? So they've got players that have been great players for them over recent years.
No, but have you seen that Pep's announced a new captaincy team at City?
No.
1 second, they're on the break.
On the attack
here.
again. They've got a corner.
Got a good crossing.
They've got a corner, Casablanca.
Reinders, I think, defended it. Looks hot over there, doesn't it?
It does look hot.
Do you know what, the stadium? It's got a few fans in there. It's not as.
Yeah,
did you see the one with Chelsea the other day?
Yeah,
in Atlanta. Wow.
Yeah, I made a major error when I was watching that game when I first switched it on. I noticed that Miami played their first game in Miami, and I noticed that Seattle played their first game in Seattle. And no doubt, I didn't see the Seattle game as it happens, but the Miami crowd was all right, and I bet the Seattle crowd was packed out. They got great supporters, Seattle. So I assumed, with them being in the States, obviously, I assumed that the LA game was in LA. When I switched it on and there was nobody there, it was gobsmacked. I know. But it wasn't in LA. It was in Atlanta.
So you think...
So they were 3,000 miles away from home. Do you know what I mean? So
I think that's a good point.
So it wasn't quite so surprising.
It's weird that they did that.
I thought they'd have played it. I was convinced they were playing in LA. I knew the game was on. I was looking forward to the game, and I'm thinking LA versus Chelsea with the LA crowd behind them. It might be interesting, and it was interesting anyway. They made a game of it, but yeah, and these are making a game of it as well. They've just put another cross in the box. Yeah,
a lot of crosses. Yeah. You have Amrabat from one side, you have Torch from the other, and they are putting some good crosses into the box. So you've got.
Yeah, the crowds are not too bad. I mean, look, the stadiums are massive.
And Linda just said they didn't play it in LA because of the protests that are going on over there.
Is that why?
Could be a reason. I'd have to fact check it, but Linda's usually pretty dead on. You've got a lot of people saying about the timings of the games. It's 12 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Well, I'll tell you what stunned me yesterday. I watched the 5 o'clock game here, which was in New York. So that was midday in New York. And then I watched the 8 o'clock game, which was from Seattle. And 8 o'clock in Seattle is also midday in Seattle. So obviously it's different times because it's different time zones. But they had 2 games in the States yesterday that both kicked off at midday on a Tuesday. That doesn't make sense, does it?
Doesn't.
Is that just for TV purposes, for European TV purposes?
I think so. They're trying to obviously publicise the game all throughout the world. And they want European watchers to be involved, but
obviously the kick-off times were perfect for Europeans. 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock here.
But it's difficult over there if it's 12 p.m. and midweek.
Usually and it's red hot as well. By the way.
Usually people at work, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I do get it. Daily Devotion says Lorch with fire emojis. Yeah, he's been the best player. He's been the best player for Wydad so far. Absolutely on that left wing. I agree with you there. Got some more comments coming in. Ricky, a lot of people are asking me. I know we're on that. Mistake.
No, he's got.
Go on. Go on.
He's turned in.
No.
He's turned in.
Oh, that is so close. They should have scored then. Do you know what, Ricky? I think you're right. They are going to score at some point.
Oh, they should have scored then.
What a brilliant
Great
cross.
ball across.
Sign them up for United.
Great ball across that.
Dallo should take a lesson. I'm telling you. Sign them up for United and get them crossing like that. Ooh, the feint. Oh, it just falls down there, doesn't he? And Edison does really well, to be fair. And is it Amrabat with that fantastic cross in?
Just a bit too far ahead of him, wasn't it? But it was a good ball.
It's a great ball in the box. Striker's getting loads of service.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
Yeah, if they had Hoyland up front, he'd have scored today. I'm only joking.
Might have done. Might have done. Yeah, it was Cassius Maulila who just missed that chance there. And you've got Lorch on the left putting some good crosses in. Amrabat from the right. I think they might come up with something at some point. Got to take the chances when they have them though, because that's like maybe
they've had a couple of decent
chances.
They've got the ball again now.
Bit.
That's nice football. Excellent. Easy offside.
Decoy says this Amrabat is not the same United Amrabat. Yeah, we know that.
It's his brother.
It's his brother. I wanted to ask you, Ricky.
Yeah.
Have you seen, it's the first time in quite a few years now, Pep at City, where he's named the captain. He's not had the players vote for it. And he's named Bernardo Silva as his captain.
I didn't even know that how they didn't normally the players vote for the captain.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they did that.
And then his leadership team, so his vice captains are Diaz, Rodri and Haaland. And like you said, they're getting a lot of new players. They've spent a bit of money. It is a transitional period. De Bruyne is, obviously gone now, a legend at their club, and they're bringing in quite a few new faces.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think Pep will bounce back? Trophyless season?
First trophyless season for some time, wasn't it?
Yeah. Came up trophyless, lost the FA Cup final, finished third in the Premier League. I mean, it's not an awful season, but by City standards and the standards Pep Guardiola say it is. They've since signed, 8 Nori, Reinders, Cherky. They've did a little bit of business in January as well. Do you think he'll be able to bounce back, second season syndrome?
Obviously, he's well capable of. Whether these players are going to settle in as well as they should do, you'd assume that Pep Guardiola's going to get them playing the way they should play. So I would say yes. But they are losing some absolutely wonderful players. I'm going to include Grealish in that. So you just never know. They might take a little bit of replacing.
Do you think they'll win the league?
I think I can only see. I think Liverpool will win it again.
So do I.
I hope I'm wrong because they'll go above us, won't they, with 21-20.
I think Liverpool will win it again.
I fancy Liverpool to win it.
Wirtz, Kerkez and Frimpong coming into that team. I think they're primed to win it next season. Salah's still definitely got another year or two left in him.
Yeah.
Van Dijk's still got that in him. Their midfield is great. I think they're really going to do well next season. And I really don't like to say he's a United fan, but I just can't see past him, to be honest with you.
Like I say, every season I hope Arsenal win it. They're the only team I can see threatening who, obviously the first team I don't want to win it is Liverpool, obviously as United fans, and the next is City. So it's only between them two usually. But Arsenal have been fairly close, haven't they? Not close enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'd love Arsenal to win it, but again, I don't think they will.
Neither do I.
I hope they get a top striker. I hope it's not a top striker that we're trying to get.
I know.
I hope us and Arsenal get the two best strikers.
Yeah, I would like to. Well, I'd like to see that as well, obviously. But if it comes down to, Arsenal and us fighting for that top striker, I want United to go and get it. But I get what you mean. I'd rather Arsenal win it than City or Liverpool. What do you make of City so far in this game? 35 minutes in, 1-0 up. we all thought it might be a drumming after that Phil Foden goal in the first 2 minutes, but they've held their
They're
own.
doing all right, City, but they're not looking like the masterful team that they've been. But I don't think you can expect that, can you, really? Like I say, with the new players playing and players that are not playing. Players that they lost, for example, De Bruyne being the main one. But they just look like a good team. They don't look like they're the best team in the world like they have been for numerous years.
Do you think this Club World Cup will give time for the new signings to gel and might give them an advantage in some ways?
Yeah, it could do, yeah.
Because I get, you have pre-season for that, but this is proper competitive football.
Competitive football, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt.
So that's something. I honestly, I will be very intrigued to see how City and Chelsea bounce back from playing in the Club World Cup in the season, whether it'll benefit them, whether it'll go against them. I think that'll be an interesting thing to see.
I don't know when they're going to restart, when they're going to... I assume they'll go... I just can't get my head around how they're going to fit it in for players to have holidays. If I'm speaking about whoever reaches the final. I've noticed... hang on, chance for City coming up.
Big chance, Charlie.
Oh, what a save.
Good save by the keeper.
What a save. That is what you call a big chance.
Made up for it. Phil Foden again.
Foden should have had his second goal there.
Definitely. El Medi has come back to...
That is a great save.
Come back to help him out there after that.
I couldn't see anything but the net bulging here.
Yeah, he could put it in the corner a little bit.
Yeah, when you see it from behind like that, he should do a bit better, Foden.
I want him to hang in there. I'm changing my score prediction, Ricky.
You said 3-0, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm changing my score prediction to 2-1.
Right.
To see. That's what I'm changing it to. I want him to get a goal. I think City will win it, but I'd love to see Wydad get a goal back. What a dive. Come on. That's a dive, that. Turkey. Base the turkey. Also, guys, Club World Cup, make sure straight after this watch along you will have Goldbridge coming for Real Madrid versus Al Hilal. That'll be a good game as well.
Is that the 8 o'clock game today?
That's the 8 o'clock one, Ricky. Are you watching that?
Yeah, I'll be straight home to watch that.
I'm watching it. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know a big reason I'm watching that one? Because Real Madrid, obviously, are always a good team to watch. But I'm really intrigued to see the level of these Saudi Pro League teams.
Yeah, it'd be fascinating.
I've not had a chance to watch the Saudi Pro League.
I've not watched a game, not one.
And I want to see how they fare against these big teams. And Real Madrid are one of the best teams in Europe. So how Al Hilal will do when Al Hilal are the best Saudi Pro team, it'll be great to see. I'm pretty sure Al Hilal won the Saudi Pro League last season. So it'll be good to see how they fare against Real Madrid, who are widely renowned as being one of the best teams in Europe, and see this quality of the Saudi Pro League. Because it's so easy for everyone to say, it's that league's like playing in Sunday League. And, you're going to get ripped, aren't you? And a lot of people said, Ronaldo's going to reach 1,000 goals, but he's done it a lot of it in the Saudi Pro League. So how do they count as much? But you know what? They're putting a lot of investment into them teams and into decent players going there. So we'll see. Sorry. Al Ittihad won the Saudi Pro League. I think Al Hilal came second. Let me just have a double check of that.
I think that's right.
Didn't correct, but yeah, it is right. Al Ittihad first, Al Hilal second, and Al Nassr, Ronaldo's team, third.
That's something I was just leading to, and I forgot. I lost my track. Obviously, United aren't in this tournament, but all these big teams usually start playing friendlies around the same time. And I'm really aiming this at the two teams that reached the final. I've noticed that United's first pre-season friendly, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 6 days after the final of this tournament. So you would expect that would normally be about the time that these teams are starting their pre-season build-up, you know what I mean? So, and obviously the players usually get a couple of weeks off, don't they?
The final is the 13th of July.
And I think United play on the 19th.
We do. I'm pretty sure the players will get a break. They'll get a holiday, but also I think a lot of them will have had a holiday before the Club World Cup as well.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget. Don't forget,
nearly all of them
behind. It's a great tackle.
Great tackle that. Don't forget, nearly all the players are out of it by semi-final time. Do you know what I mean? So you're not really speaking about all the clubs. Look at that view.
Look at that view. Look at that stadium. The stadiums over in America, by the way, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely unbelievable. I think it was Mufid there that put in that challenge. Great challenge. Can't quite see the numbers properly on the TV, so I'm just doing a little bit of guesswork, so correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty sure it was Mufid then with a great challenge. Oh,
there they go. 2-0.
There's the second. It's a great corner. It's a great goal from Doku. That's game over.
That is game over.
Just before half time as well.
Yeah. 42nd
Might change
minute.
some score prediction back to the original.
That's a 3-0.
What do you make of Jeremy Doku, Ricky?
He's obviously got a lot of talent. It's not really my style of player. When they had Grealish playing on that side, I prefer a player like him who looks for the short passes more, and Doku looks to take players on a lot more, doesn't he? But he's a good player. Yeah, he's definitely.
I'm just having a look at if anyone's at fault here. I shouldn't really let him get round him.
Gets in front of him.
Who's that player there? Referee view. Hello. That's something new, isn't it? I don't want to get that in the Premier League. So it's good to know the referee was actually looking.
I think that's game over.
I can't quite see who that defender was, but the defender that let Doku get round him, lack of strength, switching off a little bit, and I'm going to be honest, if that was someone on the back post for United, I'd be pretty fuming at the way he handled that defensive work. Pretty sure it was Mufi, but I'd have to look again. Daniel Pollard says, this match is getting me excited for next summer's World Cup, and I hope that England can win it next season. World Cup in America next year. It's like a little warm-up
Can't wait for
tournament.
It.
Neither can I. Will you be there, Ricky?
Yeah, I'll be there. This is in replacement of what's that little tournament that they used to play? Somebody can help me in the chat here. They used to have a little tournament each year before the World Cup. So I remember the one in South Africa, for example. I went to the tournament in South Africa that was played the year before the World Cup, and it's a little bit of a warm-up for them, for them to get the stadiums ready, to make sure that they can handle the crowds and the movement around the cities and things. What's that? But anyway, this tournament, I think, is replacing that tournament. If this wasn't going
Confederations
Cup. So the Confederations Cup would probably be going. I assume there isn't a Confederations Cup this year. Now, can anybody answer that question? I'm sure there won't be. But this is in replacement of it. That's one of the reasons it's in the States, because the World Cup's in the States next year.
Michael Hedman says, Ricky, if I pay for flights in a 5-star hotel, will you come to Stockholm, Sweden for a United fan get-together?
Absolutely, I will. Name the date.
Name the date and send him the plane ticket. The last Confederations Cup was 2017.
Is that when it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, that's not that long ago, because there's only been two World Cups since then, but the 2017 one was the Confederations Cup for the 2018 one. So there's only been one since then.
Yeah.
It's just 2022.
Do you like that referee's view, by the way, Ricky? How do you feel about that? By the way, that's a foul on Amrabat. It's a foul there from O'Reilly.
It's a bit of a fad, that. A bit
You
of a
think
gadget.
it is?
Yeah, it's okay, but I can take it or leave it.
I would love to hear a game where the referee's fully mic'd up and just see the whole game through that.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult because you're going to get so much speculation and everyone reading into everything, and players will probably get criticism from the way they speak to the referee or stuff that they say. But I'd just love to hear it. Free kick going in now from Wydad.
Not too bad. A couple of foot wide, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, to be honest with
Well,
you.
from that angle, it looks like it's 2 yards wide.
Yeah.
From the third angle.
3 minutes of added time before we get to half time in this game. Tell you what, don't want to speak too soon, but none of City's signings have stood out to me. I think, to be fair, I think Reinders has done decently well in the midfield, but I've barely seen Cherky.
No.
Obviously, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I'm reading the chat.
We're spending a lot of time chatting.
I'm
I
looking
always say I hate watching football matches in the pub. I'll watch it in the pub if it's my only option, because you're chatting away and we're chatting away a lot, aren't we? Not really. It's difficult to say if any of them are outstanding.
It's a good turn of pace there from Savino, I'm going to be honest.
It's well played, that, and that's a decent ball in.
Got some news coming out from The Athletic, actually, from David Ornstein. David Ornstein, I'll tell you what, I'll read that half-time when the game's done.
Okay.
I'll read that at half-time when the game is done. there's some big news coming out actually that I'll bring in.
Oh, can't wait.
And I want to get your opinion, Ricky, on the fixtures. I'm assuming you've looked at a few.
Yeah, well, I haven't studied it much, but I've seen United have got a tough start, haven't they?
Have they just? Have they just? I'll get your opinion on that for sure. Anyone that stood out from you for either side this half, Ricky?
Yeah, that's a decent.
Amrabat, by the way. I wonder how much he would be. I'm not joking. I don't even...
I'll be dead honest with you, Beth. When you're watching this and you've not got the commentary on, you don't hear the names of the players. I'm not even sure which player's making the challenges. It might be a different player when I see him make a challenge to the last time, if you understand what I mean. The defenders are all doing okay, though. The defenders are doing well, and they look dangerous down both flanks as well.
Norden Amrabat, 38 years old.
Is that what he is?
Honestly, he's putting in a better performance on the wing against City than some of our wingers do. It's mad, isn't it?
38, is he?
38. He's having a right good go, isn't he? He's giving him a hard time. My standout performers have been Amrabat and Torch on the left wing.
There you go.
And for City, no one's massively stood out. Again, I think their wingers have been decent, Savinho and Doku, but no one's massively stood out for me. Foden obviously got the goal. ZX7 said Cherki's going to struggle with the physical side of the Premier League. He looks lightweight. Germany won the last Confederation. Got people talking about the Confederation Cup there. Ricky?
I had a fantastic time in South Africa at the Confederations Cup. That's the only one I've been to.
Is that half time there?
I think that might be half time.
So that is your first half of Manchester City versus Wydad Athletic Club in the Club World Cup. Currently 2-0 up. Get in the comments down below. Do you think Wydad can make a comeback? Do you think they can do it? 2-0 up Manchester City. It's quite comfortable. Do you expect Pep to make a few rotations in the second half? Considering the weather as well.
You say it's comfortable. It's a funny old game, football. It is comfortable for City. It's 2-0. When you've got a 2-0 lead, you feel comfortable. But they have had their chances. And goals change games, so it's okay saying it's comfortable. Doku's just done great to get in front of his full-back from a corner and score on the volley. But if they'd have taken one of their chances, maybe that wouldn't have happened. We could easily be sat here 1-1, do you know what I mean? But they are comfortably 2-0 up, but it hasn't been as comfortable as people might think.
Do you know what? The playing style of Wydad is traditionally fast wing play, which is what we have seen as well in the game, and that's been the highlight of their game for me.
Yeah.
They've just not been able to put the chances away.
Yeah.
If you're talking about clear-cut chances, I think it's been pretty equal. City have had more possession, they've dominated them more, but they've had some clear-cut chances, they've just not been able to put it away, which is...
They've put a couple of really dangerous crosses in that someone's not been able to get on the end of as well. A couple of chances where they should have shot earlier rather than the lad who came through the inside left channel and he checked back and tried to pass it. I thought he should have shot with his left foot. He was inside the box. Just have a stab at it, I think. So they have had chances. I said at the start that I fancy they'll get a goal, and I think they still might get a goal. It's
definitely a way different dynamic to when Auckland played Bayern Munich.
Oh, without doubt, yeah, big difference. Big difference. Did you read the position the Opta standings between those two teams?
No.
Bayern Munich are ranked at number 6 in the world. Do you know where Auckland are ranked, roughly? Have a guess.
230.
Over 4,900.
Wow.
Over 4,900.
Wow. That's crazy.
I read in an article in The Athletic that the cost of the flights to take the players and the staff to the US for the game was more than what they normally earn in a year. I'm assuming FIFA paid it.
Yeah.
But the cost of try and get your head around what a small club they are. So I'm thinking along these lines, even if they travelled first class and say there's 40 of them and say it was $6,000 a man, so that's 10, that's 60 grand, 240 grand. So let's say the flights were 240 grand. And it said that's double what they normally earn in a year. right? So that's 120 grand. I fancy winning your town and winning your amateurs turn that much money over. Do you understand what I mean? So, how on earth they won that? How on earth they won that cup in Australia? Blows me mind.
Do you know how much they got paid for taking part?
Go on.
2.6 million.
That's fantastic.
That'll do wonders for them.
That is absolutely fantastic for them. They will probably make a fist of winning that A-League again now. But
Their squad is valued at 3.9 million on transfer market, and Bayern's is valued at 903.5 million. I'm also being told in my ear that apparently they're in the New Zealand League. They don't play in the A-League. It's a different Auckland.
It's a different Auckland team.
So you've been trumped by our producer.
Right.
They play in the New Zealand League, but
right. So they've not won them to do. Right, how have they qualified then? I don't get it.
I don't know how they've qualified.
How have they qualified? So it's a different
Oceania Champions League apparently.
Right.
With Papua New Guinea and teams like that.
Right. Okay.
I know. So that's Ricky's
that's
just got fact checked.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. I'm still surprised that they're in it, and still surprised that they've managed to get a game against Bayern Munich. I'm still surprised by all that. But how can I explain it? I'm happy with myself that they haven't won the Australian A-League, because I regard that as at least an half reasonable league, you know what I mean? At least half reasonable, and I wouldn't have thought that a team like that could have won it, and they haven't won it, so that's good. That's good.
Wow, okay, so we've got some chats coming in asking us to react to the Ornstein news. So
he said there's some news, go on.
We will do that. Also, I'm going to get Ricky's comments on the fixture list as well. We might as well while we're at half time. And I think you've got a quiz question to bring in.
Yes, I've got a quiz question.
So, these are some quotes coming out from David Ornstein. And they are as follows. Well, just a little bit of news before that, actually. Apparently, Jorge Mendes has entered the negotiations regarding the Victor Gyökeres situation. That puts Manchester United in really good stead, because Jorge Mendes has a great relationship with Manchester United in trying to broker deals for us. So that could really help in terms of the Sporting and Manchester United agreement. We've already got good relations with Sporting Lisbon, so Jorge Mendes being involved in that deal gives me a little hint that Manchester United might end up being the leaders of that race. I'm also hearing, again, I'm not claiming to have the best sources in the world, but people do speak to me. They do message me, believe it or not. And I've been speaking to a few people, and I'm being told that Sesko is very close to Arsenal. Right. Very close in an agreement. So if Sesko does go to Arsenal, Gyökeres is going to open up for Manchester United. So let's see how that goes. But in regards for David Ornstein's quotes, David Ornstein on Brian Mbeumo to Manchester United: Man United are exploring the Mbeumo deal and he wants to join them. There is a very good chance that deal happens, but we are not there yet. On needing sales to buy after Mbeumo, he says, afterwards they have signed Mbeumo, you get the impression they do need to sell. So players such as Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, whether that be loan or permanent, which also frees up the squad space for a striker. Tiro Malacia and Anthony also could go. Suddenly you find yourself in a different financial world than you are now. It's all well and good, but where are them players going to?
Yeah,
It's a lot of players United have got to shift there. And we've got 3 weeks till pre-season. Do you know what I mean? Are you going to be able to do all that? That's what I worry about. And on Ekitike, a striker that we were talking about yesterday, when you speak with English clubs, they think they could pry Ekitike away for a bit lower than £85 million. Maybe if a club got to 80 million with some add-ons or whatever, they might be able to do it, but I don't know how they'd structure it. But there is some optimism that it's not quite as high as ultimate Eintracht Frankfurt are letting it be known. 80 million is still way out of United's budget, in my opinion.
I think so.
But yeah, that's the little bit of news from David Ornstein. Nothing really groundbreaking. We already knew Mbeumo was on his way and the negotiations are stalling. And, you know, the Ekitike thing, I think United are going to be priced out of that. I think Liverpool are going to move for him. But, you know, it might change. If you are a Liverpool fan, you know, that's football. If you are a fan of another club or even a United fan, what do you make of that in terms of who do you want your club to sign? Who do you think looks like a promising option on the transfer market? Let us know. B16 says, I heard one of their players took unpaid annual leave from his day job to play there at the Club World Cup. I think they're just happy to be there. It's crazy. Honestly, United Stan could have put a team together and give it a go. Now, I'm not being disrespectful, but we've got some good ballers here, Ricky, in your heyday. You're a good player, weren't you?
I can't even move now, Beth, so give him a game.
in your heyday, though, can anyone guess what position Ricky used to play? And he was a very good player as well. Put that in the comments.
Who told you that? You're not just taking my word for it, are you?
Ricky, I always believe what you say. What do you mean? I think Shelley told me that you were a good player as well back in the day.
Okay.
B16 says, I've heard, I've done that one. Thank you very much. Keep getting your comments in. If there's any polls or anything that you want to get involved or any questions you have for me and Ricky, shoot them over in the comments. And remember, Goldbridge is live after this 8 p.m. kickoff for Real Madrid versus Al Hilal. The game that, of course, after City Wydad, but the game I'm probably most excited to watch within the opening fixtures of this tournament, I'm going to be honest. Chelsea was a decent one because I wanted to see how Delap fared. Obviously, City are Premier League side, new signings, I want to watch them. But I really want to know what level Al Hilal are at. Let me know in the comments what game you're most excited for. So we've got some comments coming in, Ricky. We have striker, we have CDM, we have proper Brexit centre-half, we have centre defensive midfielder, we have left mid. Are you left or right-footed, Rick?
Right-footed.
Right-footed. Let's run a poll on this. Let's run a poll. What position did you think Ricky played? Someone said left back, ... in the locker room. Horrible. What a boy. We'll put in centre-back, centre-mid, or centre forward because I know it's one of them three.
Yeah.
Because I know what it is. Yeah. So we'll put in them three options and let everyone have a vote down in the comments. Doodle says it's crazy how Man City bought their fans in the stadium, literally empty seats, just like the Etihad. I think the crowd. There is a bit of a crowd there, especially when you look at the other games so far in this competition. Get your votes in the poll. What position did Ricky play? Let us know down in there. My next question for you, Mr. Ricky, is what do you think of the opening fixtures? I know you're going to look at it from a United fan point, but let me know.
Well, obviously it's a tough start for United. Arsenal at home. I did see somebody today saying we've got no chance, we've got to sign some players, but at the end of the day, we drew with Arsenal at Old Trafford with the squad we've got now, didn't we? So there's no reason why we can't get something out of it, whether we sign anybody else or not. So I've got my fingers crossed we do get a couple more signings, but also I'm not completely giving up the ghost, even if we don't get any more signings. Well, let's see. It's a tough start. Who's the second game? We've got 3 hard games in the first 5, haven't we? I mean, they're all hard games for us. We've got Fulham away as well. That's a tough game. We tend to do well at Fulham away, but they are a tough side to beat. I don't know. We seem to have something over them. Even when we're terrible, we still seem to be able to beat Fulham away.
Yeah, but, I know.
But maybe it'll change next year. So we've got Fulham away early doors. We've got Chelsea away, haven't we? I think in the first 5 games.
Yeah, they're definitely the first 5 games.
And I think we've got up now. And is it City at home as well? We've got 3.
We've got.
Go on.
United versus Arsenal on the opening day.
Yeah.
You have Fulham away the next week. Then you have Burnley at home, City away, and then Chelsea at home. They're your first 5 games.
So you've got Chelsea, City, and Arsenal in the first 5. Yeah. It's
going to be difficult.
Yeah, and plus Fulham away.
Yeah, but
you'd have to, look. Hopefully we start flying. Hopefully these new players, if we get some more new players as well, but Wemmo looks like it's still got a good chance. If these players gel, hopefully we can do better than this. But looking at that fixture list, you've got to expect to beat Burnley at home. If you can't beat Burnley at home, you're in big trouble. But you wouldn't be surprised looking at the other fixtures if we only had, say, 6 points or 7 points out of the first 5. Hopefully we can do better than that, but it wouldn't shock you. Wouldn't shock you one bit, would it? If we only had 6 or 7 points out of the first 5 games.
How much pressure do you think he's going to get early doors?
If that happens, lots of pressure. If that happens.
We'll have to wait and see. What position did Ricky play? Centre back, centre mid, or centre forward? Get your votes in the poll. got another super chat in here. Let me get it up. Thank you, everyone, by the way, for your super chats. We really do appreciate it here. We have Rebecca. What do you see United achieving next season?
I'd bite your hand off for a top 6 finish and a cup final. I'd bite your hand off for that. A top 6 finish and a cup final. Not necessarily win it, because when you get to a cup final, you hope to win it. Let's just get there to start with.
So horrible, though, when you don't.
Of course, it's horrible when you don't.
Thing is...
But I'd bite your hand off for a top 6 finish and reach a cup final.
People are going to laugh at me here, right? But I went to Wembley.
When we beat City.
How many times within 2 years with Ten Hag? Quite a few.
Yeah.
You know, I know we lost that first FA Cup final against City, and that was gutting, but I didn't go to Wembley that time, so it wasn't as gutting because I was on holiday. But the times I did go to Wembley, when we Carabao Cup final, FA Cup final, we won both times. So I was used to going to the games and winning. So when I went to the Europa League final, I just couldn't even fathom in my brain not winning it. So when I was there actually watching us lose, it was horrible. And I was thinking to myself, I wish we went out against Leon now, so I didn't have this pain. But if you get there and win, it's unbelievable. So you've got to take that risk, don't you? Top 6, I think, is going to be difficult.
Yeah, I agree. You said what would I hope for? Did you say what I hope for, or what do I expect? What do I expect? If you was to say what do we expect, I'd say top 10 and no cup final. Top 10 and no cup final. That's what I expect. What I hope for is top 6 and a cup final.
I think we've got a City fan video coming in soon as well regarding their thoughts on the season, on the season, on the Club World Cup and the upcoming season for Manchester City. So that'd be great if we can bring that in, because that's football's about getting different footballing opinions on, and if we can get a City fan's point of view for the watch-along, that would be great. By the way, let me know down in the comments, who do you support? Who is your Premier League team that you support in the comments? It'd be interesting to see what sort of ratio we have there in the chat. We have 456 votes so far. In what position did Ricky play? I'm going to wait until when that gets up to 1,000, then I'll reveal it.
They're coming out for the second half. Should I read out the next quiz?
Out as well. Yeah, go on.
I'll read out the next quiz. So it's another team, and it's another Premier League 11. And I want to know why I have chosen this as my Premier League 11. So I've got David James in goal. I've got a back four this time of Phil Neville, Rio Ferdinand, Jamie Carragher, and I've got Gary Speed at left back. I know he played left wing and centre mid mainly, but he played left back on quite a few occasions. So I've got Gary Speed, God rest his soul, what a great player he was, at left full back. I've got a midfield 3 of Steven Gerrard, Gareth Barry and Frank Lampard. And as my 2 wide players, I've got James Milner and Ryan Giggs. And up top, I've got Emile Heskey. So my team is David James, Phil Neville, Rio Ferdinand, Jamie Carragher and Gary Speed, Milner, Gerrard, Barry, Lampard and Giggs. What a team. And up top, Emile Heskey. Why have I chosen that as a Premier League 11? It took them about 2 minutes last time.
It does. I have a feeling again.
You think you've got it again?
I have a feeling, but I'll wait to see.
See if anybody gets it quickly. It took them 2 minutes last time, or it took somebody 2 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see what these. Do you want me to read? Should I wait for him to come in a little bit?
Yeah, get a few in, yeah.
I'll wait for him to come in, but I think I already know where we're at with that. By the way, we're getting ready to kick off for the second half. Thank you everybody for joining us, getting your comments in down below. We love to see it. Will Wydad be able to come back against this Manchester City side in the second half? I think it's going to be one of the biggest underdog stories ever if they did manage it.
Yeah, they're not going to do
but
this.
I don't think they are. But they've definitely, not sold themselves short. They've really, give a good account of themselves, haven't they, in that first half? And I expect the same in the second as well. And you never know, if they take one of them chances they've created, then I think, it could be interesting, but I don't think they can
It's possible. It is possible, but it's not very likely. You always feel it's not very likely, though, when a team's a better team and they're 2-0 up. But on plenty of occasions, I remember being at the Etihad when City needed to beat us to win the league, and they were miles better than us, and they were 2-0 up at half time. I know this is United and not them. City were 2-0 up at half time, and I walked out of the stadium, and walked into town for a pint, and United went on to win 3-2. So So,
Ricky,
so,
that's why you always stay.
I know, but
You always stay till the
I
end.
just could not see it that day. That's the only time I've ever felt like that. I just could not see it. And I know it doesn't matter if it doesn't go in, but they were 2-0 up and they should have been 6 up at half time. And I couldn't see it changing. So for United to go on and win it.
Okay, so you've got a half-time substitution for Wydad here. You have Mohamed Rai coming off the bench. He is their top scorer last season with 11 goals, and he's going to be going up front there. He's going to be going up front for Casillas Maya-Ulia. So he's replacing him, the centre forward, one who couldn't finish his dinner. Their top scorer is coming on, so let's see if that makes a difference as well. Okay, should I bring in some of the answers to the question before
We've
just kicked off now for the second half.
So it's 2-0. We've just started the second half. 2-0 for City.
Okay, so we have some answers coming in, Ricky.
If anybody gets it dead right this quick, I'll be surprised. They might be on the right lines, but you need to get it dead right.
Okay.
Go on.
We've got over 400 games.
That's not dead right, but it's a good guess.
300 plus appearances.
Not dead right, but it's a good guess.
Longest players to play in the Premier League.
Not dead right, but it's a good guess.
Players with the most appearances at one club.
No, that's also on the right lines. They're all getting on the right lines.
500 plus appearances.
That's a great shout, but it's not dead right.
Players with most appearances for the EPL.
Players with the most appearances in the Premier League. I'll give it to that one. Who's read that one out?
GTL Red.
GTL Red. So the answer is those 11 players. And I love how things like this fall neatly into a team, because you could have 6 centre forwards or 3 left backs. But those 11 players are the 11 players with the most appearances in the Premier League. The most of those 11. So that's the answer to the question.
Well done, GTL Red. I'm going to be honest.
I got it straight away. Did you get it straight away? Yeah. Did you get that straight away?
I promise you. As soon as you started going on about Milner and Gareth Barry, I knew.
Yeah.
I knew. But you've got City. I'm pretty sure City have got the same team out for this second half. I don't think they've made a substitution yet. And obviously we read out Wydad's substitution before. So get your comments in. GTL Red. Loving it. Buzzing he's got that right.
Bang on.
Thank you, GTL. Well done. Love the quizzes by Ricky, says Jin. I think that's his last quiz of the night.
Something that people need to appreciate about players who play for that length of time is how good you've got to be. You've got to be good enough to get in a Premier League team when you're 17 or 18. You've still got to be good enough to be getting in a Premier League team when you're 37, 38. Probably got to change your game a little bit to do that. And, it's absolutely fantastic that, for example, if you look at that the 11 players with the most Premier League games, the outfield players, all the ones, apart from the ones that played regularly for Liverpool, they've all won the Premier League. Phil Neville, Rio Ferdinand, Gary Speed, that might have been the old championship actually, but Gary Speed, Milner, Barry, Lampard, Giggs, they've all won the Premier League. Now, that's not a coincidence. They've not played all those games just as average players. Do you understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, the great players. And they've probably, I haven't checked, but I'd be surprised if they've not all got at least 30 or 40 caps for the country as well. They're all proper players. So if don't underestimate players that play a hell of a lot of games. Don't understand how good they are and how difficult that is. Which brings me to Ashley Young, by the way.
Oh gosh, here we go.
If he gets a new contract.
One sec. Not to pause you, but Wydad are on the attack here. It's poor.
It was poor. He had a shot right against the defender's legs. Yeah, Ashley Young, if he gets a new contract with anybody in the Premier League, he needs 15 more appearances to break into that top 11 players, if you like.
Look, I love Ashley Young. I just don't think he should be playing for United still. But I love him.
I'm not saying he should, but he won't do it. He won't let us down if he did play for us.
Capir says, is Ricky going to love Cunha? We hope so.
I hope so.
LW said, nicest part of Manchester.
What is the nicest part of Manchester? There's loads of nice parts of Manchester, but I will name Didsbury as one nice place.
Didsbury is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm a North Manchester girl myself.
Yeah.
However, I do have to say there are some lovely places in South Manchester. City here on the attack, going into the box, burst of pace, defended pretty well. I think that's
they've got a corner, have they? Yeah, I think so.
Savino's done all right, actually.
Yeah.
What position did Ricky play? We're on 825 votes, so let's get it to 1,000 so I can read it out. I wonder if Bruno will ever get into that 11.
What, the most Premier League
Oh, he
appearances?
can't. He joined too late, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. But he's played quite a lot of
But
games.
he will have played a lot.
Check how many Premier League games he's played now. Should I check? You watch the corner, I'll check.
Ooh.
Did they nearly score?
Reinders actually came in, I think now. Or is it Rice? Trying to have a look here. I think it was Rice. Yeah, it was. Haaland's warming up. Haaland and Diaz and Bernardo Silva all warming up. Rodri as well, he's back, Ricky.
Is he back?
That was a talking point I was going to bring up, but now I've seen him. We can talk about it. How much of a difference does he make?
Massive difference.
Huge difference. I think Rodri and Reinders together is going to be a very, very dangerous partnership. I really rate Reinders, by the way. I liked him when I seen him play for the Netherlands. I've liked him for a while.
Here we go, found it.
You found it. I think GTLL.
195 appearances.
GTL Red
He's a long way short of 5. They've all got over 500 them. I think somebody said that, but that wasn't the actual answer. They were the players with the most appearances.
Tell you what, if he started in the Premier League at 19, he well would have got in there.
Yeah, he would have.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
But he didn't.
He didn't.
But he didn't. All right. Out to the wing. Go on. Get it wide. They love a bit of wing play, Wydad. Ooh, yellow screen across our screen then. Again, they're holding their own here. 51 minutes in, into the second half now.
Oh, he slips there, but he's got away with it. Oh, it's a great
ball. Great ball in.
Oh.
Keeper was off his line well, Ederson there.
Is it offside? Has the flag gone up? Yeah, the flag gone
I
up,
didn't think it was off that. I think
I didn't at first, no. Yeah, he's put the flag up though.
In the Premier League for Manchester United, Bruno has 195 Premier League appearances, scoring 62 goals and 51 assists.
That's brilliant.
What a player, eh?
Yeah,
soon be in this book.
Bet Arnie Slot's shitting himself.
Oi! Oi. Ball in behind there. I think he's offside, Docky. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, is he offside? Yeah, he ran it out. Do you think Haaland will come on and score, says Connell Thomas? Yes, I do.
I'll say he'll come on and not score.
Ooh, bit of a difference of opinion. We're on 966 votes. Keep getting your votes in.
It's getting close.
And while you're getting your votes in, by the way, please smash a like on the video. It really does help us when we, it pushes out the content. It gets into the algorithms, and it shows that you're loving the content. So if you are watching, if you don't mind smashing a like, we'd absolutely love that. So thank you very much. Jacob Fatu says, we want more That's Football watch-alongs with you too, with a heart. Well, thank you very much. I'll heart that super chat back. Do appreciate it. Make sure you tell Mark when he's on at 8 p.m. that you want me and Ricky on more watch-alongs. I'm sure he'll love that. Well, he'll be doing the Real Madrid Al Hilal game, so make sure you mention it to Goldbridge. And
hopefully we can do one of the knockout games. I'm away for a week tomorrow, but I'm back then for a week.
I'd love to do a knockout game with you, Ricky. Joe, it's fun. Obviously not everyone sees it, but we watch a lot of football games together, don't we?
Yeah.
A lot of times, United games, we go and watch them together. Mm-hmm. Other games we've watched together as well. So, not everyone always gets to see it. Maybe in some of the United games I can get a little bit more agitated. I'm quite relaxed here watching Manchester City and just kind of enjoying the new tournament. So, yeah, it's different. And
we'll never do a watch-along watching United, will we? Because Mark does them all, doesn't he?
We did
do one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did do one. He went away, didn't he, or something?
He took Seb to the game.
Yeah, that's right. So we did it. And it was a home game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Someone was only
Brentford.
asking me the other day. I can't remember who it was now. He had to give the ball away here.
Oh, that is terrible was it Doku?
I think it was. Or was it? I'm not sure if it was.
Keeper did all right, to be fair, though.
Keeper does well, but it's not a good effort. Look, watch how they give it away here. Watch his touch. Oops.
Oh.
That's a poor effort, that.
Timberland boots touched that, and that he
Timberland boots.
should have finished it off, Doku. Yeah, Greg Donald said we did the Brentford game. What happened in that Brentford game? It was
here, wasn't it? Yeah, of course it was here. Yeah. Did we win 2-0? Does that ring
we
a
did,
bell?
I think we did.
We don't win many games 2-0 these days.
Corner defended well again. By the way, the amount of corners that Wydad have defended, fair play, they've done pretty decently. I think they've held their own quite well in this game.
55 minutes gone. Still
yeah,
2-0.
Doku he's not got the finishing, has he? She's curvy said if Doku could finish, he would be so much better. NAW says, would Fergie's United win this format's Club World Cup?
They'd have a great chance, but who's to say? You never know, will you? But they'd have had a... And again, which Fergie team do you mean? The treble team was fantastic. The team that won the Champions League later on with Ferdinand and Carrick in it, that was fantastic. Both of them teams would have a good chance of winning it, but always say you don't know. There's some really good sides in it.
Kabir says, I hope Cherky fails at City. Well, after his comments about killing Manchester United, I would like him to fail there as well. Not that I'd like him to fail. Actually, he's a United fan, I'm going to be honest. I don't want him to do very well. I do think he's a very good player, though, I'm going to be honest. I don't want him to do well for City, but I think he will do well. I think he's a good player. When I seen him against Lyon, against United, I thought he was good then. But, however, good signs, because I think he's been quite anonymous in this game, and you would expect he'd want to make a good first impression, but obviously he's still adapting. So we'll see. What position did Ricky play? We've got now over 1,100 votes in the room.
Wow.
And, Ricky, guess what they've voted?
The biggest vote number is for centre-back.
Yep. That's 50% of the vote have said centre-back. And then you have the next portion of the votes, 34%. What do you think that one is?
Centre-forward.
No, that's centre-mid.
Centre-mid, is it? Right. So they've
you've
gone
got
from back to front, haven't they?
16% who are centre-forward.
Right.
And I can reveal that Rick the Red was a prolific centre-forward.
Banged them in for fun.
Banged them in for fun.
But I did. I mean, usually at that level of football, when you're quite tall, I wasn't massive, but I was 6'2". And I say I was because you shrink a little bit when you get older. But I was 6'2". But you do go back. So I did play centre mid and centre back on numerous occasions. But throughout my younger years, my main years, if you like, I was a centre forward.
How many goals do you reckon you'd score for the City team that won the treble if you were up front in a season?
It's a different level of football altogether, isn't it?
Do you think you could though?
If
in your prime?
You'd probably score a goal or two because they're making chances. If you think about it, some of the chances that they make, the way they get people in behind, some of them are absolute tap-ins, aren't they? And obviously you've got to be there, you've got to understand the game, but I don't think that's something that you lose, because at the level I played in, I received a few tap-ins as well. I played with some great players. You've met one lad that I play with.
Yeah, no,
Keith.
He was the one who told me you were a really good player as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad he said that to you then, because he was a top player. That's why. Again, I've just spoke about longevity. I played with Keith till we were 40. You don't keep playing like that I don't think you do anyway, if you're no good. Maybe you do because you want to keep fit, I suppose. But we played at a decent amateur level till we were about 39, 40. And he was a top player, Keith. I loved playing with him.
Get you in training, and we can get you signed up as our number 9. I'll tell you that. We could do with it. I'm going to be honest, we could do with it. Who gets more goals in a season, Rasmus or Ricky? Ed Clark says, how many Reds did you pick up, Ricky? 2 a year, ?
One in my whole career.
One in your whole career? What was it for?
I was playing for Wydad Amateurs. I'm not proud of it, but I'll tell you the God's honest truth, I won't lie. I was playing for Wydad Amateurs. That was Saturday afternoon football, decent standard of football, Manchester League. And we were doing really well. We're second in the league. And we were playing another team that were doing well. From your neck of the woods, I think, Little Hulton, that's up that way, isn't it?
Little Hulton's near me.
We were playing Little Hulton.
It's not right near me, but it's near.
We were playing Little Hulton, and they were a dirty set of buggers. And they were proper going in.
That's North Manchester for you.
They were proper going in, horrible challenges and elbows and all sorts, and I was losing my rag. And it's just how it felt. It's just just how it happened. But one of our players, is running away from the ball, with the ball, and he's jumped in and tried to rake his studs down the back of my teammate's Achilles. He did right in front of me. I'm standing right there, but he's had to lunge forward to do it, and he's falling backwards as he's trying to do my mate with his studs. But as he fell backwards, I just volleyed him right in the head. So it wasn't
on purpose.
Yeah, just volleyed him right in the head.
Ricky.
And got a straight red.
I'd do the same.
I got a straight red, but I wasn't happy with him. We played with 10 men. They didn't. He had to be replaced, by the way. But at least they can use a sub. But I got sent off. And we played with 10 men to the rest of the game. And as long ago as it was, we won 1-0. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Do you know what? I'd want to play like that in my team. I like players with that bit of aggression, standing up for themselves, got a bit of passion. Volleying right in the head's a little bit far. But,
Fair play to the lad. Because obviously at that level of football, all you've got there is, I don't know, 30 or 40 people on each side watching the game. And he obviously went off for treatment. But he came all the way. He came all the way around the pitch and came up to me and said, "No hard feelings, mate." I said, "I'm sorry as well, mate." Shook his hand. And
at least he took it well.
That was the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that because sometimes it's like Jude Bellingham and Thomas Tuchel has recognised this as well. Off the pitch, such a sound guy, but on the pitch he can be quite aggressive, quite dirty sometimes. And sometimes you've got to acknowledge that you go on the football pitch to win. Things can get heated when you come off it. A little bit of a acknowledgement of that side of the game. But there has been some substitutions while you're telling that story, Ricky. So Cherki has come off, Foden has come off, and Doku has come off for Rodri, Haaland and Oscar Bob.
Right.
And Wydad as well are making some substitutions now, so as soon as we get them in, I'll put them up as well.
So
people are asking how hard was the volley?
As hard as I could do it.
No, you're joking. I thought it was a little tap.
No.
Absolutely smashed his head in.
Literally volleyed him right in the face, yeah.
Ricky, as hard as you could do it. Roy Keane-esque, some would say.
I was just agitated and it just happened. And
Hope I'm not going to get a volley to the head next time I said Bruno does well. Tell you what, next time I say Bruno's a good player, I'm going to start in 10 yards behind you. B16 says, should be Ricky Gyökeres instead of Victor Gyökeres. I love that. Ricky stood on business.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they brought Rodri on now, so I will now rescind my comment that these are going to score.
Yeah, I get that.
Now it'll be difficult for them to score.
Some people are asking with studs or no studs.
No, with the laces. With the laces.
Oh, with the laces. Good, yeah. Good. Well, studs are the big blood going everywhere.
Audible, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been.
But by swinging and you're hitting him with your laces, you get more power though. With your studs, it's more of a stamp forward, and you don't get the same power in it. So
you know how to master a volley to the head, don't you?
It's a catch-22 situation, isn't it?
Wow. Kev Ashford's in the chat. Big up, Kev.
All right, Kev, how are you, mate?
We miss you.
Was it you? Was it Kev?
We miss you.
I remember that.
Do you know what? I couldn't imagine Kev volleying someone in the head.
No.
Too nice. Love him though.
No. You probably couldn't imagine me doing that until I just
told
you.
Actually, yeah, I couldn't. So you never know what Kev might be capable of. Could see him as a little elbow maybe somewhere. He said, volleyed him in the head, quotation marks, laughing face, laughing face, laughing face. Typical Ricky, isn't it, Kev? Typical Ricky. George says, have you heard the Mudryk news?
Go on.
I'll get that up now, actually. Oh, I think he's been banned. A doping ban. Let me have a look. Oh, Goldbridge as well. He's cooking City here. Another game in the World Cup with a half-empty stadium. At least City will feel at home. Is it the...
Most of the stadiums have been half-empty, so it's a bit harsh, that.
Is it the Etihad or is it Philadelphia? That's the question. We have...
Could have said, is it Philadelphia or Phila Stadium?
Philadelphia or Phila Stadium. I love that one. Let me have a look here. Mudryk. He might have a ban here.
Get a crowd.
Okay, so it's from the FA. Official Mudryk charged by the FA for anti-doping violations and could face up to a 4-year ban.
Wow.
We can confirm that Mudryk has been charged with anti-doping rule violations alleging the presence and or use of prohibited substance in terms of regulations 3 and 4 of the FA's anti-doping regulations, and this is an ongoing case. We are not in a position to comment further at this time. Wow. Didn't play like he was taking doping substances, did he? It's 4 years out of the game, though. Wow. Wow.
He says he could get 4 years.
Yeah.
Didn't he cost an absolute fortune to Chelsea?
Yeah.
Didn't he? Wasn't he 100 million quid or something?
How much did Chelsea pay for Mudryk would be an interesting question. It's mad, isn't it? Because Chelsea have spent so much money and they just keep going and going and going. And do you know what? Eventually you do get it right.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a
like
lot.
Like a card trick.
Yeah, exactly. Like your card trick.
Again,
So, 8.5-year deal with Shakhtar Donetsk, right? 8.5-year deal from Shakhtar. £89 million.
Right.
It's 70 million euros to 62 million pounds, plus a further 27 million pounds and 30 million euros in bonuses.
Right.
So we don't know how much of the bonuses is
bonuses
acquired.
or add-ons? Is it add-ons that? You don't have to achieve certain things.
It says in bonuses.
Right. Right.
Do you remember Arsenal was so close to getting him? You hungry, Ricky?
Yeah.
Where'd your stomach go then?
Yeah. The wife's been away. I've not been eating too well.
She's back tonight.
back tonight, yeah.
What's she cooking up for you, Rick?
Not sure.
Not sure. Why don't you cook for her tonight since she's back?
Beans on toast. That's about me limit.
Oh, come on.
That's me limit.
To be fair, I'm a little bit like that. Actually, I have a few dishes I can do.
Right,
some really good dishes I can do. But if I've got a recipe, I'm all right. If I know it, I'm all right. But if I just have to cook some up, I'm a bit useless in that sense.
No, I'm dead sound with beans on toast. I can do that.
Is that the one you can do? Do you know how to work a toaster? Honestly, you've got it too good, haven't you?
Yeah.
Got it too good. Said Ricky, get the microwave pizzas in the oven. Mm-hmm. Oh, you put them in the microwave, not the oven. If it was a microwave pizza, surely. But I think City are just trying to see this game out now.
Yeah.
Seeing Rodri back is
frightening.
It is frightening. I think that could be a massive boost for Manchester City next season. Yeah, they obviously had a big drop off when he went out and they struggled to cope with it. But even if you just look at him in the middle of the pitch, he just looks like an absolute monster, doesn't it? In the best possible way.
Yeah.
So good.
You can just see that. You can just. Oops, he's lost that one. No,
has he? Getting used to football.
Really.
Getting back used to it. Do you think it restores balance to Manchester City?
What, Rodri playing?
Yeah.
Oh,
nearly a good through ball into Haaland.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. He won the Ballon d'Or, didn't he? Last Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, he did. Who do you think's going to win the tournament, Ricky?
Proper hard question. That obviously the people who are watching want me to have a guess, so I will have a guess. I've got to say PSG.
Do you think Liverpool can challenge PSG in the Champions League next year?
Yeah, without a doubt. They're a brilliant team, but brilliant teams do get beat sometimes. You set yourselves up right, stop them from scoring. Borussia Dortmund knocked them out the year before, didn't they, with Jadon Sancho playing on the left wing. So, teams are, certain teams are capable of knocking them out. They will get, obviously, I'm saying obvious, even City and Real Madrid only just scraped into the top 24 you've got to be in a new format, isn't it? They'll be in that without a shadow of a doubt, and then they'll probably play straight into the last 16. But once they get to the last 16, there's every chance they could lose to someone.
Marmoush off, Gundogan on. So you think it'll be PSG?
For this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They annihilated Atletico Madrid, didn't they?
Yeah, they played well against them, yeah.
They are a brilliant team, and Enrique's doing a fantastic job.
They've got a couple of... You see, that's another thing about football.
I'd love to see City against them.
They've got a couple of vitally important players to them who are brilliant. You just never know if those players might get injured. And so, strange things can happen in football. He's fantastic. What's he called? Carrots failure on the left.
Oh, brilliant.
The other one, Doué. Imagine if they both got
Dembele's
injured.
great as well.
Yeah, he's good.
Barcola's good.
Yeah.
They've got Fatini. They've got some class players.
Brilliant.
Some class players. You have Oluwishina Dada in the chat saying, I'm really enjoying this watch along. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
Little drinks break now.
Yeah.
Little drinks break.
Mine's empty, I think. Oh, no,
okay, so we might get a drinks break, but I'm going to watch. We actually have a little clip from a Manchester City fan, Rachel Hurdson.
Yeah.
It's giving her opinion on the Club World Cup and what it means for Manchester City and their season ahead. So enjoy the point of view of a City fan coming right here for you. Rachel.
Okay.
So, half-time thoughts, 2-0 up, probably don't deserve to be, in all honesty. I think, obviously we started well with Foden getting us the early goal and settling us down, but still look a little bit suspect at the back. That said, Ake probably should have scored with his header that went wide. Foden had a good chance as well that he just kicked back to the keeper inexplicably. Most impressive player for me in the first half was Reinders. He looks like he's been playing in blue for a long time, so really excited to see how he fares with Rodri when Rodri's back as well. So yeah, a little bit suspect at the back still, but all in all, not a bad showing.
Nice one. Thank you, Rachel, for your input there for half-time thoughts on Manchester City versus Wydad. A little bit late. We had to wait for the drinks break to integrate it, just getting the software up to speed. But she also mentioned what I said.
Go on.
Reinders looks like he's playing in blue for a long time, and I think he's looked like the standout signing so far for Manchester City. Cherky, who obviously got substituted off, not really given much. I'd be interested to see if Nori comes on. But yeah, I think that was a very insightful from Rachel there. So thank you very much for sending that in. Please like, share and subscribe to That's Football, by the way, if you haven't already. We love every single football fan on this platform, just having that football in debate.
Did you get much response? You asked earlier about which teams many people support.
I did. There was quite a few different ones actually. Yeah. We got sidetracked at that moment, but if you can get it in again, what team you support? I'll read a few out for Ricky. I saw a Southampton in there. I saw an Everton in there. It'd be great to see. I have a feeling, Ricky, that this game's just going to kind of play out a little bit slowly towards the end, do you?
I do, yeah. They're going to sit here settling for what they've got, and I think they're a bit nervous about throwing too many people forward, but they will have to have a go at getting a goal back. If they can get a goal back, they will feel they can get another one.
We have here some people putting their clubs in. We have Man City. Well, it is a Man City watch along, so I can understand it. We have Arsenal. We have Oldham Athletic. Oldham. I know Oldham very well. We have AC Milan.
Wow.
We have PAOK. I'm having a feeling you're trolling me a bit there, but maybe not. You have Spurs, unfortunately. I believe you there. We have Cardiff. We have a lot of Uniteds. We have Liverpool. We have United and Rosenborg. How good's Nipan, who's signed for City as well? Let me know that, the Rosenborg fan in there. We have, sorry to say, Liverpool, Newcastle, Aston Villa, United and Gillingham, Chelsea, Wydad. Honestly, love that. Altrincham FC, says Linda. I've watched Altrincham a few times. Dimitri says, I'm not trolling, I'm from Greece. Love that. Love that.
Love it.
Newport County, Blackburn, Walsall, Al Hilal, Burnley, Sporting, United,
Fantastic
Juventus.
list. Fantastic.
That's what That's Football's all about. Yeah. That is what That's Football is all about. Feyenoord, someone says in the chat as well.
Had a scary night there once.
In Feyenoord?
Oh, yeah, proper scary night, yeah.
I can imagine. Can you give us some insight?
When we beat them 3-0, Andy Cole scored 3. And all their hooligans were all waiting outside the United end after the game. And talk about big lads. And there's a few United lads got a right pasting. It was frightening, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah. I think them days are gone.
Do you think?
I think they asked.
There's a lot more police
that sort of thing used to happen a lot
now, isn't
it? It used to happen a lot in England, that type of thing. But whether it might still happen abroad, perhaps. But I don't think you see that. I mean, that was in Holland. That. But there was literally hundreds and hundreds of them.
City now just kind of playing it pretty boring, as we've used to seeing them do before, to be honest with you. It's what happens when Rodri comes on, a lot of sideways and backwards passing.
Here we go.
Here we go, though.
Here we go.
Here we go. Woo!
Shot over the bar from
Shot
Haaland.
over the bar.
He's not scored yet. Let's see if he does
Haaland.
get that goal.
I think he will.
And if
I
he
think
does,
he
it
will.
might be 3-0, like you said in the first place.
Yeah, and I would take that score prediction. Ricky, do you reckon you could pull off the Erling Haaland hair?
No.
You've got enough of it, though, haven't you? Do you know what? You've got enough of it. Do you know what? Coming to think of it, a lot of men, the hair starts to go.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan's is already going at 28 in the back room over there. I'm hearing bald is best in my ear. But, you've managed to keep hold of your hair quite well.
When you say managed, it hasn't been anything that I've been trying to do.
I know, but maybe it's the meals that Shelley's been cooking you.
Perhaps, yeah.
Do you reckon you do an Erling Haaland cut?
Probably. I did used to wear my hair quite long when I was dead young, but I never used to tie it up.
I reckon if
I could have tied it up.
If United get top 6 next season, you agree to coming on the forum with a little Erling Haaland trim.
So that means I've not got to have an haircut on it for a bit.
Yeah, you've got to grow it, but then you have half of it shaved.
Oh, right.
And you put it in a little ponytail.
I'm beyond all that.
Ryan's, you're beyond all of it.
Beyond
You've got to
all
do something. Next time we have a bet then.
Okay.
Next time we have a bet. Do you remember that bet we had where you said Luke Shaw would start the game of next season? You think he'll start the first game for United of next season?
If he's fit, he will. We have had that bet, but the thing it'll be a difficult one to agree if you've won the bet or not. Particularly, well, it won't be hard for me to say if I've won it because if he plays, I've won it. Simple as that. But if he doesn't play, what we won't know is if he's fit enough to play.
We will know that.
But will we know that for sure?
Yeah, we will. We'll know because we'll see if he's in the squad. That's where you'll see that there if he's in the squad.
I don't know.
Do you know what?
They often include players in squads who are not really fully fit to start games.
There's always something you're coming back with, Ricky. He either plays or he doesn't, and we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, sorry about that, Ryan. Did catch a little bit of a stray there. It's only banter, though. It's only banter. Wydad have not had as many chances as they did in the first half.
No, they haven't.
City are completely
in control.
dominating.
They're looking like scoring again. But they're not missing glaring chances, are they? Ireland just had an half decent. Well, that could have been a good chance. At the end of the day, the pass is too long. It's a bit like a Bruno pass rather than a Rodri pass.
Lucas said, "How have City been? Could you possibly summarise?" Ricky, I'll let you do a little summary, and then I'll jump in.
They've not been the Man City of old, but they have played well enough, and they've been comfortable enough on the ball. Wydad have had a couple of good chances on the break in the first half and should have scored really in the first half, but overall City deserve the 2-0 lead. I wouldn't say, and they've had other chances as well, but I wouldn't say they deserve to be 3 or 4-0 up, but I'd say the scoreline at 2-0 is bang on.
I agree. I think 2-1 would be fair.
Yeah, well, they could have scored, but City have had other chances as well, and I think they deserve a 2-goal gap. So let's put it that way instead. 2-0 or 3-1 is a fair result, I would say, at the moment.
I agree. Obviously, I know it's the first game of the Club World Cup for them, but they don't worry me as much going into the Premier League.
No.
I still think they'll be up there challenging next year.
Yeah, they will.
But it's not scary.
No.
It's not scary Man City of old, like you said. I think it's a team that is adjusting. It's a team with a lot of new players. It's a team in transition. And I know they've signed some good players, but I don't think it's anything to really pull your hair out about yet. When they gel a bit more, maybe. But honestly, the wingers for Wydad had a really good first half, Torch and Amrabat, but they've just not managed to really get into the game in the second half. And I think that's mainly because City have brought on some good players and have maybe held back a little bit more, but also because they're running out of steam.
Yeah.
Got a few flares going off here.
What's he stopped the game for? Can't see what
the
game's been paused at the moment. I couldn't see quite why.
There's some flares going off.
And the camera's now above the stadium so high we can't see the players. Or here we go. So he's got the ball in his hand, the referee. I can't tell. Maybe the commentary might be telling people if they got the other commentary on as well, but. Or maybe it's because of the flares. They're showing the flares, yeah. Loads of red flares behind the goal going off and smoke drifting across the pitch.
Game's gone.
Right, they've started it now.
Game is gone, as some of the comments are saying. You want the fans to be passionate.
Of course you do.
You want to see, fans loving it. It's a good advertisement for the competition. Where's Cherky? Did he play today? Honestly, did Cherky go to the Club World Cup with City?
On the break. We had it on the break. Can they get one? No. Blocked away for the corner.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think Cherky might be signing next week or something. Didn't see him in this 90 minutes, to be honest with you. How has Rynder been doing? Really good. Got to be honest. He's been good, as I knew he would be. I think that's a great signing for Man City. Got another corner going in now from Wydad. 10 minutes to go, plus added time to play. Will they be able to score a goal? Because that'd be a great achievement for this team, scoring a goal against Manchester City as well.
Corner's gone to the near post, but it's been put out by his own. I thought it was another corner, but they've put it straight out for a goal kick. Have a look at this closely. Oh yeah, it's him. City player heads it against him and it goes out for a dead ball.
What are you saying, Ricky? Are they going to get a goal?
No, they're not going to get a goal now. I've changed my mind since Rodri came on.
Rodri's just different class, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's just different class. If you have any questions, by the way, for Ricky, general football questions,
that's a poor pass.
Now is the time to get him in while we've got him. He's very... it's very rare now that he's in the UK.
Yeah.
So when we get him on for shows, get your questions in and let us know. Mr. Miracle says, I think Pep buys these flair players like Grealish and Cherky so that other teams can't play them.
That might not be a bad shout, that might not be a bad shout.
Do you really think? Just so... Well, we did it with Sanchez,
I have heard of that, of clubs buying players because they're worried about other clubs getting them. And also, they reckon it was very smart moves by City when they first started to get money. They used to buy players from clubs who they would normally expect, or by then they might expect to be competing with. Like when they bought Gareth Barry from Aston Villa, they were about their level and they were weakening Aston Villa at the same time as strengthening themselves. And apparently that was in their minds when they were making these signings. There was one or two other instances of that as well.
This is something says, O'Reilly is quality.
Yeah, he looks class.
Absolutely
I'm not saying necessarily in this game.
No, but
we've been talking too
in
much.
general, though,
I've enjoyed it, but we've been chatting football, all sorts of stuff, haven't we? So I've seen O'Reilly enough now to realise he's a good player already.
A really good player. Ever since he came through at City, I've had my eye on him. I think he's really good, which is annoying because they are rivals. Jay Hilton says 4-4-2, Ricky, or 4-3-3.
I used to love 4-4-2. I would like 4-4-2 really, but
of course he does. It's Sean Dyche.
Yeah, but they can be so similar though. 4-3-3 and 4-4-2. You've got, if you're playing 4-4-2, you've obviously got two. Let's go back to United's golden era. We had Beckham and Giggs on the flanks, so that's your two wide men in your 4-4-2. But then you've got. We used to have Dwight York and Andy Cole up top, or Teddy Sheringham and Andy Cole. Sheringham played. So whether it was York or Sheringham, they'd drop a little bit deeper into the midfield when we were out of possession. So then when you're out of possession, then your wingers can push forward more. So at times your 4-4-2 becomes 4-3-3, if you follow me meaning. So very, very similar. So I'll be happy with either as long as you've got the right players.
Nice one. You've got De Niro, another crossing by City and another corner conceded. Wydad look a bit dead on their feet now, don't they? Like
it's all City now.
Yeah, and when you're defending that much, you're gonna lose a bit of pace. You're gonna have the energy drained out of you. You have
2-0 at half time though, and it's still 2-0. Yeah. So I think they'll be quite pleased with the second half performance. Are they making
their best player, Lorch, is coming off. For Aziz Ki.
I'd just like it for Wydad now if they could just keep a clean sheet for the rest of the game and only get beat 2-0. I think it'd be a decent effort.
I'd love them to be able to score.
It'd be great if they could score, but I can't see it.
Both my score predictions are on. I said 3-0 initially, and then I said 2-1.
And then you went back to 3-0.
You have De Niro saying, if we have Gyökeres, Cunha and Mbeumo, would that be pound for pound the best attack in the Prem?
If we had who?
Gyökeres, Cunha and Mbeumo.
The best attack in the Prem, that's a bit... Let's see it in action. Let's see if we get them. Let's see it in action. Let's see. I want that. I know. Hopefully, it'd be fantastic. Hopefully, it would be fantastic, but remains to be seen.
Richard Walker says, "Who's going down from the Premier League, Ricky?"
Probably the 3 teams that have come up.
I think Leeds might stay. I do think Leeds might stay. I don't want them to as a United fan, but I do think they might.
Who's going to go down if they stay up? That's
the only thing, isn't it?
I mean, let's talk about it. Who is going to be down there? Everton seems to have really improved, don't they? And for years they've been struggling against relegation or just above it. But this year they climbed to about 11th or something, didn't they, Everton? Wolves were the one that were only just out of trouble with a few games to go.
Wolves could be in there
Will
again.
it be Wolves again?
They could be, but their new manager looked pretty good when he came in.
They did well towards the end of the season, and they've sold Cunha. I don't think they've signed any players. Could be Wolves, but at the end of the day, you just think Wolves would probably have a bit too much for Leeds. I think, let's see.
We'll have to see. I do think their new manager did a really good job when he came in when they went on that unbeaten run. Linda says Bournemouth good players leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. I think Areola's too good of a manager if they do keep him. But
I agree with you. He's a good manager, but a manager that sometimes he's only as good as the players that he's got. Yeah, So if they get rid of too many players, you could find that they struggle. But I just get the feeling a little bit like Brighton that they're a really well-run club, and they've probably signed a few decent players over the years who we've not even heard of yet. Who are coming up. To back the first team up and start getting a few games. So you might find that they're all right, even if they sell 2 or 3 stars. You might. You don't know, do you?
Might. Brentford might go down, Mr. Minion said.
Having lost their manager.
Do you know what?
But they're such a well-run club then.
They're a fantastically run club, but losing Mbeumo and Thomas Frankie's going to hit them.
Yeah.
It is going to hit them. So I think that's a rogue shout, but it's an interesting one. Jay Hilton says, what's Ricky's opinion on Thomas Frank going to Spurs?
I like Thomas Frank. He did a great job at Brentford. They're a well-run club. Spurs is a bigger club. It's an interesting one. I don't know. Just as ever. Let's just see. He could do great, but he could flop as well. So
go on, lad.
See.
Just not enough there.
He might like going to. Look, I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me when Fergie retired and David Moyes came to us, and David Moyes had kept Everton in the top 6 or 7 for, I can't remember how long, 6, 7, 8 years. And I thought to myself, wow, he's done that with those players. We are now going to fly. I was absolutely adamant. Yeah, chance of a goal here. Nice, turned away from goal and passed it. And the Moroccan team bring it away. I thought we were going to absolutely fly under David Moyes, and I couldn't have been more wrong, could I? So
put him in. Oh, it's a pop.
It's a great chance. A great chance if he'd have played it through the right way.
Yeah, you couldn't have been more wrong. We were terrible.
Yeah, shocking. So you never know. So Thomas Frank could do great there. Supposedly got better players to work with, but maybe not. Why? It's not necessarily that the Spurs players are better than the Brentford players when they're about, I don't know how many, 10 or 15 points behind them probably.
Linda said, it won't work well, in my opinion, just like it didn't work with Nuno Espirito Santo.
What are Spurs?
Oh, red card for Rico Lewis. So red card for Rico Lewis. They might get a goal back.
I doubt it. 2 minutes to play.
Yeah.
We missed that, didn't we? Talking about who we talking about? Spurs.
Talking about Spurs and Thomas Frank. I was answering a question in the chat.
Yeah, it is. That's football.
Oh, that's not a red. Oh.
Yes. Just as my second viewing watch. I think he does that on purpose.
Do you think?
I think he volleys him in the face deliberately.
Let me have a look. Oh my gosh, I know. Let me have a look.
I think it's deliberate. And he goes down protecting his leg. He's pretending.
That was a pretend.
Yeah,
the going down protecting his leg was a pretend, but I'm not sure if he did it initially on purpose. He did get the ball, but then he did follow through into him. What do you think? Let's get a poll running. Red or no red? Rico Lewis has been red carded.
Standing there arguing his case, the ref's not even looking at him.
Victor Reis looks pretty good, the Man City centre-back that's played today.
Still there arguing with the referee.
Red or no red?
They do look at the VAR. Do look at reds, don't they? That's one of the things that they do look at.
And they'll be checking this one here.
Reds, goals, and penalties. That's all they're supposed to look at, isn't it? Still stood there arguing, but maybe VAR are looking at it, and it says check over. So,
he's getting red.
So he's got a red card. The check's over.
Are you being fully serious? He's saying. I can hear his Manc accent from here. He said I got the ball first.
At the end of the day, the referee and the VAR people agree with
I'm asking you a genuine question. Did I get the ball first?
That's what he said, yeah. Can you read his lips?
I can lip read.
He did get the ball first, but what's this? What's this? Right, now, look, there's no need for that.
Yeah,
there's a jab forward, isn't there?
There isn't, yeah.
There's no need for that.
Is he doing it on purpose, though?
I think so. How can you do it by accident?
His foot might have just been flying in that direction.
His foot was low, and he raised it, and not only did he raise it, but he jabbed it forward a bit.
Jay Hilton says Rice was a top player in Brazil. Yeah, he looks good. He looks good. Young centre-back for them. That's him out for 3 games as well, for City.
That'll just be for this tournament, won't it?
Yeah. But that must be annoying, travelling all the way there and then you're out for 3 games.
Yeah. So he'll miss 2 group games and the first knockout game, won't he?
Yep. And I assume they'll get past that anyway in this tournament, I'm going to be honest.
Probably. I don't know how it works, who you can draw. Oh, it'll be already set out, won't it? I think it'll be set out. You'd probably find that there on a computer somewhere. But it'll be like the winner of Group A versus the runner-up of Group B and stuff like that, won't it? So they'll know who they've got a chance of playing.
Luke says, if Reinders is City's new backup DM, what happens to the new kid they've brought in, Nico Gonzalez? It's crazy to think City can keep buying players and it doesn't quite work, so they go and spend over 60 mil. Yeah, it is mad that they can keep doing that. United can't keep doing that, and a lot of other teams can't keep doing that.
No team can do that like City do it.
No, and they've done it with
and even the ones who can seem to be more fearful of doing it. I mean, I believe the Newcastle owners have got just as much money as City, but they don't do it in the same way, do they?
No, because of FFP. I mean,
but City's not bothered about that then.
Loopholes and all sorts. Exactly, Ricky. Chelsea have done the same. Free kick straight into the wall. However, the one thing I will say, and a shot that flies straight over. What I will say is Reinders isn't going to be a backup, I don't think. I think Reinders is going to play. I think he'll play with Rodri, in my opinion.
So you think Reinders will play with Rodri as a holding midfield player, but then when I say we need 2 holding midfield players for United, you don't like it?
I think there will be some games where, he might be on the bench, but I do think they'll play together. I was thinking about this. Is there a possibility, I mean, I know he's done it in different formations before, that Pep plays...
We're in injury time now, aren't we? Sorry.
Yeah, we're in injury time.
Are we 2 minutes? Are we in 2 minutes into the 6 minutes?
Yeah. A lot of people saying
you would assume that Wydad are not going to concede another now that City are down to 10 men. You would think.
Well, Nori hasn't come on. This is what I was bringing my point to. Is Pep going to change his system? Is he going to play? Is he going to play with wing backs?
What, 3 centre backs?
Yeah, because
I doubt it.
Well, he signed Nori, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's, to me, a typical wing-back, but I don't know. It's just a question, because he does change it up sometimes.
He can play left-back.
Marmoush and, Haaland will play together in that system pretty well. I don't know. Marmoush should be great in behind the striker there, but we'll see. Foden as well. But he loves... his wingers.
He's going to score Haaland after all that. Oh, he saved it. Well saved. 1-on-1 with the keeper, Haaland. Tries to lift it over him and the keeper saves it. You nearly got it right there, Beth. Haaland to come on and score.
Nearly. And it would have been my 3-0 as well.
It's not a very good effort, is it?
No, it's not great. He does miss a lot of chances. Yeah. He does. He just gets a lot of chances. What do you think for Rico Lewis? Red or no red? 66% say red. And 34% say no red. We have Squay saying it's not about the follow through. Cleared the ball, didn't slide into player more than the opponent slid into Lewis. Never a red. Disgusting from Lewis, says Rud on Razor. So people see it differently. City has so much possession, fullbacks go forward a lot. I agree with that. I think he likes his wingers too much. You know, his Savinhos and Doku's to ever play that system with the wing backs, but maybe at some point. Phil Foden is voted superior player of the match, probably for his first goal, and he did have quite a few opportunities. I thought Reinders was also good. There was a couple of plays from Wydad that were good as well. Torch was good, but you're not going to get player of the match if you don't win. Yeah, we'll see. But Kieran said Haaland channeling his inner Hoyland. A few people say maybe that's what City have done. Get 8 Norris so United can't get him, but they don't actually need him. Oh God, honestly, I find it a bit mad he's not played today, but I know it's only the first game, so I won't look into it too much. Luke said Slot is kind of moving to doing that with Gravenberch dropping between the centre-backs and full-backs pushing up. Even like full-backs is going to be a big shift this season. Everyone's looking at the PSG model. Well, yeah, especially bringing Frimpong in, who is very much an attacking wing-back in my opinion and not a right-back. People are moving into that sort of style. It's like, you know, kind of copy your homework but change a few words. You know, it's a little bit different, but sort of the similar model. Foden found his level, says Sid John. First Turkey hate watch was successful, says Luke.
I noticed they've changed it, so they call it the superior player of the match, don't they? And in the States, they normally call it MVP. And what it brings to mind is I went many years ago, I went to watch a mate of mine playing a playoff final at Wembley, Colin Little. If he's not watching, I might clip this up and send it to you, Col. But he played in a playoff final at Wembley, and I went to the game, and I was sat next to 2 American guys. Got chatting to these American guys, and I told them my mate was playing. And at the end of the match, Colin got man of the match. And these 2 American guys genuinely said to me, "What does that mean, man of the match?" I swear, what does that mean? I said, well, obviously it means it's MVP. You know what I mean? Oh, right, why didn't you say that?
Mad.
And now they've got superior player of the match, haven't they?
Superior player of the match.
I like that.
B16 said he learnt that from Ricky. Matt
yeah, the kick in the face.
Oh yeah, he was listening. Matt Kearney.
I told you it was deliberate. I can tell it's deliberate.
He's done it before. I've
done it before.
He knows every trick in the book. It's weird that you mentioned that and then it happened. And he got a red card off the back of it as well. And that is full time. City win 2-0. A good showing by Wydad, but failed to capitalise on their chances. And Man City, not the Man City of old, seemed like they were in third gear a little bit, but managed to get through it with a successful 2-0 comfortable win. Cherky's got a bit of a face on him. Yeah. Dropped a bit of a stinker on his debut. Let's see what you've got at Old Trafford.
I mean, I've enjoyed this because we've had a good laugh and a good crack. It's been great listening to what people have got to say, the questions that they've been asking. But I get the feeling that was if you just sat and concentrated on the game, it was a decent game. They made the right fist of it, and with a little bit of luck, Wydad could have had a goal in the first half. And like I always say, goals change games. But overall, City well-deserved winners. Well-deserved.
We also have Matt Carney saying, in your opinion, does one get better results by being feared as a manager or being loved? I always felt Ferguson was feared but also highly appreciated. Klopp seems to be loved. Which one do you think works best?
Each manager's different, isn't it? Which one works best? I suppose you'd have to say Fergie's method worked best for what he won over all the years, wouldn't you? But I don't know. So each manager's got a different mentality, a different personality, and I think you can be a successful manager with either of those types of,
I think a bit of a mix. You can be extremely feared, but then also the players love you and respect you, and you've got a great relationship with them, which is what Alex Ferguson did. Great man manager, but yeah. Tough love, someone said in the comments. But that is it. That is the first watch-along in the studio for the Club World Cup finish. Man City get the win. Good to see their new signings have a little look of a Premier League team. See what Wydad had to offer. And were you impressed with them?
Yeah, I thought they did really well, They did really well. Like I just said, they could have easily nicked a goal in the first half. And had they nicked a goal, it would have galvanised them. They might have got a point out of it if they'd have put one of them chances away. But it wasn't to be, was it?
And just to end it, Sandeep said, this was a great watch-along and very informative one. We would love to see more of you on watch-alongs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandeep. Appreciate that.
Before you go, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already, but please hit that like button. We really do appreciate it. And get prepared because Goldbridge is going to be watching Real Madrid versus Al Hilal on That's Football. So stay tuned for that.
Can't
Trent
wait for that
Alexander-Arnold, or
Can't
just
wait.
Trent, as you would call it
Trent,
now, in a Real Madrid shirt. Let's see if he starts. I mean, the lineup might be out for that soon, and we can go and have a look at it after this. But thanks for watching, everyone. See you on the next one.
Thanks a lot.